is the Big O Show. This 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 is...
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One was over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, you know, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchased with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayum is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayum, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayum can help. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Right, all right, all right, all right. Good morning to one and all. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you're feeling Star Atlas. I don't know. Hope you're feeling Star Atlas. If you have that Star Atlas feeling, give it to me on the chat board. Oh, baby. Yeah. I don't know how many of you really took the ride, but if you did, basically, some of you have already doubled and tripled your money and all kinds of good stuff. Oh, it's a Star Atlas morning. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Where are we at here? Yes, up 43% this morning. Up 43%. up 100% in the last week, up 196% in the last 30 days. Just saying. And it just started. It just started. Anyway, that's all I can say. I hope you all out there have taken the Star Atlas journey. Yeah, by the way, you could already start taking profits and everything if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Oh, man. Well, let's see. What are we doing here? Jamie, I see is first on the chat board out in San Jose. I like it. We got a bunch of things to talk about today, man. We got the heated action tonight. We got the Panthers in action again tonight. They kicked ass last night against the Senators 5-0. We got the Canes taking on Kentucky. So I already took the points, by the way. I went onto the Hard Rock app this morning. I saw Kentucky was favored by 7. I took the points already, or 6.5. I think I got 6. I think I got 6.5, not 7. Let me see. Let me make sure. 6.5. I got 6.5. So I figured I don't know much about. I don't really follow college basketball that well, to be quite honest. I tell you this all the time. I've lost a lot of interest in college basketball. For me, it's like an extension of high school basketball. It's kiddie basketball. It's nothing like it used to be, back in the day. I'm sorry for you young people. The problem is that now that this has been going on for over 20 years, we've got a generation that's already gone through this. So this is like the norm for them. You've got to be a little older to really have experienced real college basketball. You know what I mean? And then you would understand that there's zero comparisons to what's going on now and what went on before. But I said, what the hell? I'm going to watch it tonight. And the Canes are pretty good. And you're going to give the Canes the points. And the rankings are right around the same, right? Miami is 8, Kentucky's 12. I figured, what the hell? You want to give me the points? I'll take them. I got the better coach. So, I'll take it. I'll take it. Pretty even teams, and I got the better coach. You're going to give me the points? I'm going to take it and have some fun. And I'll watch that tonight. I'll have that. Well, that'll be one of the games. Obviously, I'll be watching the Bucks and the Heat. The question is, who's going to be healthy? So we will have Anthony Chang joining us at 12:30. He will be out at shoot around and talk to the players and the coaches, and then he's going to talk to us. So we'll get the latest there from Heat Camp, and we'll get a feeling for who's playing, who's not, and all that good stuff with Anthony. Cameron Wolf is going to stop by. We will unleash the Wolf Pack at the top of the hour. So we'll get into our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphins report with the one and only Cameron Wolf. At 11:30, the great Manny Navaro will step in. TVD, Corey Flagg, Don Chaney Jr., Jafari Harvey. They have all stepped into the portal. And we will talk to Manny Navaro about that and many other things, because stuff is going on with the Hurricanes. So we got a loaded show for you. Got all kinds of stuff going on. We are in a great mood because the crypto season is exploding like it's been exploding for about 2 months now. And, it's just nice when you diversify. We always tell you about diversifying the portfolio. And it's been fun because it's one coin one day, and then it's another company the other day, and it's another company, and all good. Can't wait, man. This is 2024 is going to be a lot of fun. There's Brooklyn Rob. There's my guy. He says, good morning, Big O and Sean. Let's go crypto. Rob, did you get into Star Atlas? I'm wondering if you got into Star Atlas, because you're pretty good. You get into a few of them. I don't know if you ended up getting any Star Atlas. So anybody right now out of the 111 that are watching, Are you in the Star Atlas? I mean, I would imagine if you are, you would be like jumping up and down the last couple of days, like going like, holy shit, my money's doubling and tripling. And so, you would have already been sending me some love already, like, thank you for turning me on to Star Atlas. Let's see what else. Let's go through a little roll call with Jamie Zoria, number 1 in San Jose. Last night's game was unwatchable. It was, dude. It was just terrible, man. I was going back and forth with Lisa last night on text, and it was just I wasn't watching the back end of the game. I hope everyone is having a great week. Remember to smash the like button, people, and fins up. Yes, sir. Steve Chapman is in. Ray Sosa, Cash the Jeweler, Brian Walters. I see the Canes have a walk-on quarterback for bowl game. Everyone smash the like button. Yep. James Gleason is in. Thank you, James, for the kind words, calling us the best. I appreciate that. Not true, but I appreciate the love. That's very nice of you. And thank you for being here and supporting Sean and myself. Great White Willie is in from Colombia. Omar Lopez, Jay Gelfin. By the way, Willie, I am surprised that in Colombia, Bitcoin is not becoming bigger and bigger like it's going to be now in Argentina, like it is in El Salvador. I am surprised that Brazil. I'm surprised Colombia. I'm surprised certain countries have not adopted it faster. I wonder if it's being used over there because the currency there is so weak. And I would imagine that they would be leaning more to Bitcoin in a lot of those countries. Omar Lopez is in. Jay Gelfin is in. Nico Jones. JPP is just a jag at this point. TVD went from potential Heisman candidate to a turnover machine and now looking to play QB in college for a 5th year. Wish him well. Yep. Chad is in the house. Dolphins up. Fins up, he says. Good morning, Big O. Have a great day and terrific show. Thank you, Isaiah. Appreciate you. Tim Eason, Green Lion, Brandon Flood, Nyborg, One-Eyed Jack, Hard Knocks tonight. Can't wait. Yeah. Oh, my God. One-Eyed Jack, you reminded me of that. I got the Heat. I got the Panthers. I got the Canes. I got Hard Knocks. Wow. Holy shit, I got a lot of things to track tonight. Emilio Hernandez is in. Shang Tu Sheng. I doubt that's going to happen because they do their thing and I do my thing. So that's not going to happen. The crossover is not going to happen. Let's see. Duck Dog in. Gus 1388. Castelloni says, Giovanni says, good morning to be alive. Another day in paradise. Amen to that. Man of 1,005 holds. El Jibaro is in. Brian Landis, Troy Ortiz, Zach Usherwood. Still quiet here in Western New York. Thank you, Zach. Steven Gonzalez, Ron Torchia, Campos. He's got his bags packed. He's ready to go to D.C. this weekend, even though Washington Stadium was voted 27 out of 30, Pile ranked best to worst. Yeah. Yep. It's a shame, but hopefully the new owner will bring some respect back. Although if they hire Belichick, that'll be funny. That's how you're going to try to start to rebuild that franchise. With that has been. Ty Crook is in. Big O is the voice of truth when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. Facts. Thank you, sir. That's very nice of you. But I think we're the voice of truth for South Florida sports. You know, I get it. I'm the football guy. I've been covering the Dolphins for 30 years. And all that kind of stuff. But I think I'm ahead of the curve on pretty much every team in town. You know, so yeah. Listen, we don't talk Panthers here. By the way, last night was hilarious when they when they gave a major to everybody. I've never seen that in my life. It's like that game was so effed up yesterday. Okay, but they dominated and it was awesome. But Panthers, right? I'm not supposed to be a hockey expert, right? But yet I'm the first guy in town to say, hey, that Dale Talon guy, I don't care that he's a Hall of Famer. I don't give a shit what he did in Chicago. He needs to be fired. I saw that before everybody else, and I'm not the hockey guy. I'm not the hockey guy, and I said, no franchise can be led by two guys like Barkov and Huberdeau. You must trade Huberdeau for a star before anybody else said that. You know what I'm saying? Heat-wise, I'm usually on top of it, too, and a good feel for it. Marlins, whatever, Canes, you name it, dude. I'm usually on top of all this shit. You know, I follow all sports in town. Inter Miami, you know, so it's I pretty much follow everything in town, and I call everything like I see it. And overall, we do a pretty good job of getting most things right, more often than not, in every sport. But I know I'm labeled as the Dolphin guy. I totally understand that. Okay? That's the pigeonhole that I've kind of painted myself in, right? And so people then assume, you know, and they go in that direction. But you know, I know about the Heat as much as anybody else, and can figure out what the hell is going on and tell you exactly what needs to happen or who needs to be traded or fired or whatever, you know. And I'm usually pretty much on target on most things, local sports, that is, you know. So I appreciate it, and I know that you know, I'm kind of penciled into that Dolphin corner, but we have a tendency of getting a whole bunch of other stuff right, you know? So we were the ones that tell you that Messi was coming. And go buy season tickets so you can make some money. Just like Nico Jones says he owns Star Atlas. Nico, how much you up by now, baby? How much you up now? Huh? That makes my heart with a lot of warmth and love that I see some of you are cashing in with me on some of these things. Because, man, I not for nothing, but forget sports. On the crypto side, I'm making you guys some money. And those of you that got like real money, not like, you know, phony money like I have, like those of you that actually have real money and you make big time money, boy, you're making big time cash here with some of these crypto moves that we've been making, because we've been hitting them all. Nizzle is in the house from Medellin. Boss B, JS 115, bought 10K worth of Star Atlas. Get the F out of here. See, these are the people that have, like, see, he's kind of the dude that has real money. I don't have that kind of money. So God bless you, bro. That you are killing it right now, dude. You are you don't have 10,000 anymore. What do you have now? 30? Where'd you get in at 13? Because it's at 50. Where's it at right now? It was at 13,000th of a penny, and it's at 61. I don't know if you got in at 13 or 15 or 8. If you got in at 20 and it's at 60 and you put 10, you have 30,000 now. You're welcome. That's all I'm saying. You're welcome, dude. Okay? Good for you, bro. Good for you, man. God bless you, dude. God bless you. If you got it at 13 or 14 and it's at 61 now, and you put 10,000, you got a lot, and you got a lot more coming. This ain't shit. This was at 24 cents. We still haven't gotten to 1 cent.
This got to 24 cent, and Star Atlas wasn't even ready to even be played or anything. It was just in the planning stages, and it got to 24 cents. Then we had, what we've had the last 2 years. And now in the last 2 years, all they did was continue to build, even though they got screwed with the FTX thing. They lost $12 million in the FTX thing. That hurt Star Atlas for funding. A lot of people thought Star Atlas was gone at that point, and they were able to survive and get funding and then, and sell a lot of NFTs and all that stuff, and they were able to get back on track. They're going to be a monster. So good for you, dude. Good for you. You could already take out your profit if you felt like it. That's nasty, bro. 10,000? That's nasty. Good for you. God bless you, dude. Man, that is awesome. That makes me happy right there. Some of you are really, some of you obviously are way in better shape than I ever will be. And I'm glad that you can take advantage of some of this stuff and really cash in, man. Good for you. Good for you, man. It's awesome. Mr. Spock is in. Nizzle is in Medellin also. So it's not only Willie. I didn't know Nizzle was a Medellin kid. Another Colombian watching. I like it. Nyborg says, take your initial investment plus percentage of profits from Star Atlas and let the rest ride on the crypto bullet train. Damn right. Damn right. That is good. That's some good shit. Horn Dog is in. Sam the Man. Joseph in. Ray Sosa. You couldn't pay me to watch the Bears and Vikings last night. You did the right thing, Ray. Gordon Shumway, Ron on the all-night telethon. He says it's 27 degrees here. Well, move your ass down here to Florida, Ron. Jay Gelfin is in the house. He says 4 days until Joe Bonamassa. Can't wait to see that. Let's see. Crypto Finn says like button smashed. I like it. Shekel says I'm here after Miss Finn's channel was over. I don't know what that is, but thank you. Dolphin Eric. Worst Monday night ever, says El Hibaro. Lisa Rose in. Drago says, Big O, all. If you noticed, if you're not watching the home team, Miami Dolphins, most NFL games are now boring. Dolphins make the NFL a snoozer. That's Mike McDaniel. We're now spoiled. He's right. He's right. It's definitely right. Lou Duder. That's a new name. I'm seeing some new names here. Stephen Harris, Tiger Shark Tony, James Gleason. You know what, Big O? You being the Dolphin guy, it does matter. Look at the following like me that you have because of that. Many of us, there are many, have been following you for 20, 25 years. Thank you. No, I know I've built my name up through the Dolphin stuff. I get all of that, dude. And I'm very appreciative of it. But I'm pretty damn proud that and all the other sports on this show, on this channel, if you listen to it, we're pretty much on target on most of the stuff that goes on. And I'm still undefeated in my 33 years. I've never said fire a coach and he never was fired. Because it would be pretty embarrassing to say fire a coach and then he's still there. Or fire a GM and they're still there and I got to go back to that place to go talk to them and over again and over and over again. Hey, didn't you want me fired 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago? That's never happened to me. So streak is still on, which is a beautiful thing. Big O, I feel this media, excluding you and Manny Navaro, are covering for Mario Cristobal. There are sites already speculating on the new imported QB, when to me the coaching holding it back. Yeah, to me, none of this matters until I see Mario become a better game day coach. I don't get excited about this talent or that talent or whatever, because if you're just going to be the coach, it's just going to depend on the talent having a good day. You'll never win a championship because then you need the talent to be great every week, and that's just not going to happen. Players need guidance, and they need the right structure, and they need the right leadership. And I am not sure on an X's and O's level that Mario Cristobal is prepared for it, to be quite honest. I know he can do everything else, but he definitely lacks that. So what are you going to do? Some people will call it like you see, like it is, and some won't. Get your 10K and leave the rest, says NorCal. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he got in. You know what I'm saying? But he easily got in under 25 because I've been talking about it for a while and had not blown up yet. And so he easily has doubled his money, maybe tripled his money. I don't know if he's willing to say it, that he doubled or tripled his money, but he easily has done that already. You know? Several of my friends question me on crypto, specifically with Bitcoin. You will never see a coward make big money. They don't make moves. They don't make movies about cowards. I'm loving several organizations right now. That is very true. And, you know, that's kind of part of the thing, that you've got to be able to have the foresight and then at the same time, you got to have the conviction. You know, you got to have the conviction. If you don't, you'll fold, you know. And those of us that like Lisa Rose and Brooklyn Rob that I know personally, and they're in crypto, and I know specifically they're in crypto, okay? And I know specifically they have been investing in crypto and buying all these dips for the last 2 years. People like Brooklyn Rob and Lisa, you know, those are the people that make the money because they have the balls. I mean that in a good way, Lisa. The guts, you know, that you gotta have guts, because you buy the dip and then it goes down again. And human nature is you're going to question yourself. So wait a minute, Bitcoin went down to 27. I bought it at 27. It went down to 24. I bought it at 24. It went down to 22. I bought it at 22. It went down. And so most people give up and say, I'm not doing it anymore. That's it. You know, I got a friend of mine that got in on the 40s and never bought again. So he is waiting for Bitcoin to get back to 40 so he can break even, instead of buying it all the way down at 16.5. And then by now he would be already in the green, because that's how you're supposed to. That's investing. Those of you that just FOMO'd, you're not really investors. FOMOing is not investing. You're just going off of what other people say, and you know what I mean? Investing is really understanding what you're in, then having a conviction. And you watch Tesla go down to $105 and you keep buying it. Oh, I bought it at 180. Oh, I bought 160. Oh, I bought 150. Oh, I bought 140. It went down again to 135. Okay, I'll buy it again. It went down to 125. Oh, shit, I'll buy it again. It went down to 115. And most people are like, no, and they're afraid and they sell off. So this gentleman is 1,000% right. That's what happens. That's human nature, because it just doesn't seem logical that it continues to go down and you continue to pour money into it. But the thing is, if you have the conviction and the belief in it, and you know it's a great company, Tesla, Amazon, whatever, it's going to bounce back. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Cardano, whatever. If you believe in it like I do in with certain companies, it's going to bounce back. And when it does, you'll be there to cash in. What else do we have here? James Vivinetti, John Villoria. Yes, they did sign JPP, sir. I'm going to the CCW award show on December 20th. They opened it up for 12 fans. Is CCW, is that like country music? Is that wrestling?
It's wrestling. Coastal Championship Wrestling, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be at the show Saturday.
I knew it was wrestling or country, because it just those letters sound wrestling or country. I hate to stereotype CCW, but that's just kind of what it just felt like, and I had no idea what that stood for. All right, good job, dude. And you got one of the 12 spots, Boss B. That's awesome. Chris Johnson is in. Alexis Palenzuela. Antonio Ingram. I miss South Florida weather. I woke up to 26 degrees this morning. Damn, dude. That's tough. Oh, Ray says it's a toss-up between last night's Monday night game and the Monday night game back in 2007 when the Dolphins and Steelers ended up in a 3-0 score. Some of the worst Monday night games. Yeah, I remember that. Chad says, Arsenal top of the league. Yes, sir. Come on, you Gunners. Top of the league, baby. Yes. I got to tell you, Chad, I have trouble enjoying myself completely on this because I'm not used to it. It's kind of like a Dolphins fan. Like when we get to the playoffs and we watch them in the Super Bowl and they win, I'm going to sit there or stand next to Sean and maybe hugging him saying, hey, did we really win? Are we really in Vegas? Are we allowed to enjoy this? And so I kind of feel that way with Arsenal because, the years past haven't been very nice to us. Big O, what's your thoughts on JPP? I'll give it to you, man. It's not anything deep, to be quite honest. Ron Torchia, thank you for the love in the super chat. Remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. We get 100% of the donation there at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin donation, which, nothing gets me more excited than a Bitcoin donation. But Ron, my pointy Big O is I learned a lot from watching your show. It helps me get through my day. Well, thank you, Ron. That is very nice of you, sir. Very nice of you. John Padilla, Kyle Cockrell says, I just wanted to mention that the Dolphins O-line is light years ahead and better than the past couple of years. So in that sense, I do want to give them credit, especially in pass pro. Brother, when are we going to get the benefit of the doubt? Remember that conversation? It's kind of like, I'm glad it's coming, I'm glad they're getting it, All my crypto is on XRP, Big O. Good luck to you, Ferns Fins. I wish you the best, my brother, but I want you to know that's a terrible plan you have. Okay? I hope XRP goes to $10,000 per coin and you're filthy rich for the rest of your life. But when you invest, diversify. Okay? Because when you put all your eggs in one basket, you're only counting on that one basket. You know what I mean? And it's like what I told you now. I'm for a couple of days, I'm excited about watching Avalanche explode because I'm in Avalanche. And it takes off and it's way up from where it was where we started, right? And then another day, let me just go through it. What was the other one that Chainlink? Another one that just absolutely exploded. We're also in on it. Illuvium. Another one that, and these are all well over 100% for the month. 130, 140, 150, 160% up for the month. Okay? So different ones, Immutable X, right? Up, right? You diversify your portfolio because if that one coin you put it all in does not have the run you want, then you put yourself at risk. But if you have one that didn't do well, another one did great, it makes up for it. And if you diversify and go into several stocks, several cryptos, you give yourself a better opportunity to succeed. Okay, I think XRP is going to be good. I'm not dissing XRP at all here. I'm just dissing the strategy of putting everything behind one. And in crypto, if you're going to do that, how's the conversation been here for 2 years? What have we said, Sean? What do you put about 40% into and 30% into of everything else? Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's your Microsoft, that's your Amazon, that's your Tesla in crypto. So I wish you the best, but the next time, diversify because it really changes the entire game for you as an investor when you diversify and you're in stocks and you're in gold and you're in silver and you're in crypto, and it helps to be in different areas involved. By the way, Atlas is now up 45.5%. That's just absolutely amazing. I am excited, baby. I think we're really lacking in the run blocking game, just my opinion. It's Kyle. They ran for 160 yards this week against New York, who's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They're all right. They're fine. You got to remember where we've been for decades. Not where we've been for a year or two, not where we've been the last 5 years, where we've been. Brother, I don't even want to hear about no unicorn bullshit, okay? There's a fun little nickname that Omar came up with. That was 3 linemen, and that shit ended there, okay? Here you have a starting unit, and you have backups. You are light years of where you've been. So we can't get too crazy, Kyle. You understand what I'm saying? Where we've been for 2 decades plus and where we are now. Now you actually have like a real front office. Now you actually have like a real coaching staff. Now you actually have like a real head coach that knows offense. Got to get better still. He's not there yet, but he's a youngin'. He makes his mistakes. He'll figure it out. He's smart. He'll eventually one day figure out that he's got to run on 3rd and 4th and 1. He'll figure out, hey, I've been really stupid here. Let me figure this out. He will one day. But we are light years as a franchise, as a team, quarterback, everything, and where we've been, Marino and those days. And that's why let's not get too crazy. Okay? It's only been a year and 11 games, right? They're 8-3. A year and 11 games for this group here together. And so this group here together has to keep moving forward because now you have Fangio in place. So now you will build the team under his vision. And now you will build the rest of your offense under McDaniel's vision. So a year and 11 games in, Kyle, there's no way you're even close to a finished product. So you got to make changes still. You've got to adjust to a couple of things. But meanwhile, a year and 11 games in, we are light years ahead of where we were the last quarter century. And that, my friends, is awesome. Awesome. For those criticizing Dolphins O-line run blocking, it was running game that closed out the Jets game, and it's Mostert number 2 in the NFL in rushing yards. Exactly. You, Jayhawk, have the right attitude. Okay? I mean, we don't have to be like the Derrick Henry in his prime and stuff. I'm not saying that we have to be that kind of running game. It's got to be a complementary running game. Big O, you down with JPP? Yeah, you know me. Yeah, I'm fine with it, man. At this point, what are you gonna do? I'll get into it in a minute. I'll get into it completely. Boss B says I'll be there on Saturday as well, front row with my children. Nice. There you go. 27 degrees in Youngstown, Ohio this morning as well. I need a job in South Florida. Winters are getting tough. Yeah. Kikyo Smith says 70 degrees in Hawaii. Good for you, my brother. Enjoy it out there in Hawaii. I got to visit Hawaii one day, man. I got to go to Hawaii. I am dying to go to Hawaii. My neighbor bought 4,000 shares of NIO at $13.40, and 10 months later it was $62. I told him he should sell 2,000 shares and let the rest ride. He didn't listen, and 2 years later it's $7. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Bro, what is in your view of Jalen Hurts? Do you think he's in the same category of Lamar and Fields? No, Joel. Have you watched Hurts play? No. See, Jalen has improved his accuracy. Lamar has not. Lamar is the same guy. It's a rinky-dink little passing game, slants it lives off of, and then, some curls and stuff that they make it easy. He's not throwing through windows. He's not throwing through multiple layers of the defense. Once in a while, he'll try to jack one deep. Rarely he'll hit it. Jalen Hurts, did you see the money throw he made in the back of the end zone? That's the kind of shit that Lamar can't do on a consistent basis. Jalen had to improve his accuracy. Now, is Jalen an explosive thrower? Not physically. Of course, he has all the strength, that kind of explosive. What I mean is that he's a guy that you're going to be throwing 45 times a game. No, he's not that guy. But he is accurate in moments that you need him to make a play. And it's a strange phenomenon. He has the Deshaun Watson pre-massage clutch gene. Because Deshaun Watson wasn't necessarily deadly accurate, right? But he was deadly accurate when you needed him to be, which was kind of an interesting combination. And Jalen Hurts is like that too. Jalen is probably not the guy you want slinging the ball 40 times a game, 35 times a game, but it's an interesting dynamic that when you need a throw, he makes the effing throw. And it's not just because, and the one he threw in the back of the end zone this week, it wasn't AJ Brown or anything like it. I forgot the name of the kid that caught it, but it shows that it doesn't matter who it is. The ball placement is there. Lamar Jackson just does not do that. I don't give a shit what anybody tells me. The problem is most people that talk about Lamar Jackson don't watch the games. But if you actually watch him on an every down basis, I mean, some of you got to watch it this past week because it was on national television. Does that look like a threatening passing game in any way? No. The biggest threat are his legs. But more often than not, every time there's a deep ball, he doesn't hook up on that deep ball more often than not. He's always overthrowing. He's never really accurate. But Jalen Hurts, that sumbitch, man, I give him so much credit. What he did a couple of years ago, I don't know what the hell he did, but he has that it factor. And when you need it. And sometimes his numbers, the problem is that sometimes his numbers will look like Lamar's, but it's different. You have to watch the games. And again, this is something I learned a long time ago from Ed Kaplan. And a lot of you have no idea who the hell I'm talking about because Ed's been gone for a while now. I know he's retired somewhere. Ed, love you, brother. You are a legend, as always, and one of my true inspirations for this business. But one of the things that he taught me early on about life and sports talk is that a lot of people really don't watch the games, including media members. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you hear them, and then they'll go off a number or whatever, and this is my favorite one. Well, he won an MVP, Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. So you had a hot year, big deal. That doesn't mean you're a great passer. You've never been a great passer. It's kind of what it is. So it's interesting that I don't look at Hurts like those guys. Fields still has a lot to work on for his accuracy. I love his moxie, Justin Fields. I love his toughness. I love the person, actually. There's a lot of things I like about Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? But the accuracy is just not there. Lamar Jackson, how do you not love the person? How do you not love the work ethic? You know, how do you not love the sacrifice that he puts out there for his body all the time? But it doesn't make him an accurate passer. Never has. And again, I explain it over and over again. The problem is too many of you get caught up with what an athlete is and what a quarterback is. And so the athlete will freak you out and have certain games. And, you know, people will then go off those games because an athlete can get on a roll at any moment at quarterback and have a good game or two. The athlete can never play quarterback at an elite level every week because he's an athlete. He's not a true passer. And I know it's not the perfect analogy, but it's the closest analogy. And all you got to do is go back to when you were a kid. And when you go to the park, there's always in your 4-on-4s and your 5-on-5s or 3s-on-3s or 6-on-6 games, there's usually only one guy that can really pass. Everybody wants to be on his team. And then usually the other guy either is not a very good passer or he might be an athlete that has a good arm, but not necessarily accurate. And maybe that day he's on and maybe that day he's off. And, you know, that's kind of the way it goes. And that's who Lamar Jackson is. That's who Justin Fields is. That's who Ryan Tannehill is. These are the people that they don't know ball placement. They don't know anticipatory skills. They don't have pinpoint accuracy all the time. They can't do that kind of shit. They're not going to sit there and hit the net and hit it in that pocket, you know, 3 or 4 times in a row where Tua can do it. Oh, you want me to hit the goal post? Okay, from where? 40 yards or 30 yards? What do you want me to do? Bing. You know, it's different. Dan Marino could throw it over his back and put it right in the middle of your freaking chest. Every time. This is over his back. Not like this. Like this, he'll do it blindfolded. All he needs to do is just throw it once with his eyes and then put him blindfolded. He'll make that same throw. Ba, 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 ba. And that's what people don't understand what a passer is. That's it. Back when I was young, the Kellys and the Marino fans had a hard time dealing with Montana being the best quarterback because physically there was no comparison. Kelly was a way better athlete, much better arm. Marino had a way better arm than Joe Montana ever will have. But somehow or another, Montana's the one winning all the titles. And there was a reason why he was winning all titles. Yeah, he had the great team, but, dude, he was deadly accurate. You know, that beautiful floater just hit every time, in stride, in stride, in stride. Receivers never had to turn around, stop, like, you know, Tannehill, like Lamar. Like, no, they're in stride. And that's where I give Jalen Hurts the credit over Lamar. He has gotten much better with his accuracy. 2 different players so far right now as passers. And again, Jalen is not at the elite level, but he is much more accurate, especially when you need him. Long answer, but that's what I got for you. What else do we have? Crypto Finn says, hate this weather in New York City. Why did I ever leave South Florida? God. South Florida for New York? Ugh. See how many cops are quitting the force? Which I don't blame them. I wouldn't work in New York. It's disgraceful how they run that place, period. But anyway, whatever. Yeah, Yeah, New York's fun to visit, but I could never, ever, 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 ever trade New York for South Florida. Never. Not in a million years, dude. I remember both Greer and McDaniel, even last year, promising that both Eichenberg and Austin Jackson were improving and how they both believed in them. It's materializing before our eyes. We have real coaches here now, Krillian. That's the thing. Michael Lehman says the key is not selling. I bought a little chunk of Bitcoin in the 40s, but was buying other things while it dipped. So I didn't add to my Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin as well as other investments. Man, I wish you would have added more down because you would have been in the green now. You know that 85%, listen to me now, 85% of Bitcoin is in the green. Let me repeat that again. 85% of the Bitcoin that is in the world held by people is in the green. Too many are stuck in the 67, and that was a flash, and it came down. And I've explained it before. That 67 happened because rich people thought that a recession was coming, and then the recession didn't happen because the government decided to print a whole ton of money, Trump and then Biden, and boom, it came back down. And so now it's being built up slowly because now you're watching dollars or fiat money crumble all over the world. So as other countries fall by the wayside with their fiat currency, they will inherit Bitcoin. And eventually our fiat currency will fall. And eventually on the next go round and the next recession, that will even juice it up even more. But before that happens, we're now going to have other countries and the halving coming and the ETFs, which are going to skyrocket Bitcoin to well over $100,000. And the next time we have a recession, and that's when Bitcoin will go to $250,000. Because if most of the country still doesn't understand that our banking system and our dollar is, brother, practically dead. But people don't follow any of that because it's boring. Most of you don't follow that China and Japan, they're selling all the debt that they have owned of ours. People aren't buying the U.S. debt anymore. They're not buying dollars anymore. It is dying. And our debt continues to climb to just astronomical heights that we will never be able to bring it back down again, ever again. And the feds lie to us all the time about they want to bring inflation back down to 2%. Inflation will never go back down to 2%. It probably is mathematically impossible for it to go down to 2%. I think we're going to live in the 3 to 4% for now. It'll go up higher, even more than that. And that's why those of us try to explain to you that your money in savings, you're not gaining anything. You're losing money because inflation's running higher than your savings. Inflation's running higher than some of your money market accounts. So you're really not doing anything by saving money. Put it in something else that grows a lot faster. Anyway. Big O, what a dip. I can buy now that you think will get better. Just got into crypto yesterday. Well, Hedera Hashgraph has not exploded yet. That's one that I love. It's in the 6-cent area. The feds are going to use that for Fed payments. Don't ever stop buying Bitcoin until it blows up. Until it gets to the ridiculous numbers, I would keep buying Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. I love Polkadot. It has not exploded yet. It's at a really good price. Polygon is still a joke at 74 cents. Cosmos is still a fantastic value at $9.12. Cardano has not made its move yet, and it's at 38 cents. V-Chain, a slow grower. It's only at 2 cents. I love Gala. Gala Gaming is going to be enormous. It's at 2.5 cents. It was all the way down to 1.5 cents. So those of us that took advantage of it, you're already making some money. But Gala Games is going to climb. Decentraland has a lot of gaming and metaverse. It has not exploded yet. It's at 43 cents. That's another one that hasn't moved yet like it should. I've talked about this a few times, Alethea Liquid Intelligence Token. I told you about it last week, and it was in the 1.7 cents range. It's at 2.2 right now. So it's gone up 0.5 cent from when I talked about it last week. This is AI, and I think this company is going to explode. Mark Cuban is part of this company. That's another one that, these are some that I'm invested in. And I tell you, I'm going to tell you about stuff that I have my money in. So that way I don't start talking about other things and I don't have the money in it. And so I'm kind of BSing you. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. Okay. There you go. That's a couple of companies for you that you can invest in. Oh, wow. 41, almost 42% Atlas, man. That is freaking amazing. Can't wait for it to make its real run. Let's see. Kyle Cockrell. Thank you, Kyle. Gordon says, I'm looking forward to the future and how this coaching staff develops future O-linemen. We finally have that develop late round O-linemen into Pro Bowlers. Yeah. You know what, Gordon? You know what we have now? We have the Miami Heat in Miami Gardens. We didn't have the Miami Heat in Miami Gardens. Now we have the Miami Heat in Miami Gardens. And what I mean by that is we actually have a team now that can develop players. What a concept. Holy crap. What a concept. They can develop quarterbacks. They can develop offensive linemen. They can find, raw talent. I kind of like that. It kind of helps. Curious if we get to see Brooks again. Oh, you will, Emilio. They, as a rook, as an undrafted rookie, they had that sumbitch blocking. You don't trust young people to block. Running backs are usually just trusted to run and find the hole. That's it. Unless you're Chase Edmonds and you can't find it. But more often than not, you can at least find the hole because that's what you do. But they are terrified because you might get your quarterback killed or you might get somebody hurt because you can't block. Because you don't know where to pick up the blitzer. Because they can't trust you. They already had him doing all of that. Even on plays that he wasn't really the running back. He was specifically there to block. Do you know the amount of trust that you got to have in an undrafted rookie to do the things that Chris Brooks was doing? They want him back badly. They want him back more than you ever will. More than I ever will. More than any of us ever will. Coaches love versatility. Chris Brooks can run, can catch, can block, and he will block you into the ground. He's going to come back. He's the only back that does this. You have to go to the fullback to find a guy that does what he does. He's super important. I am convinced you have to bring back Chris Brooks. Definitely. The thing I liked about Friday is that our O dictated the play, as opposed to when we play other great defenses like the Eagles and the Bills. Just felt like we were in control the whole time. Krillin, you are 1,000% right. It did feel like that. And one of the things that I talked about leading into that game was, I don't know if you caught it, but I want these two games against the Jets because the Dolphin offense needs work against really great defenses. And, I hate to compliment the Jets, but I have to compliment the freaking Jets. They have a great defense. And I was so proud of the Dolphin offense, how they played, and they were able to hang in there. And I'm still a little unhappy with Tua's mistakes. He's got to get better. Over the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, I have not been happy with some of the decisions he's making. He's forcing the ball a little too much. He's getting a little cute, and he needs to get back to playing really, really smart. But overall, I'm with you, Krillian. They dominated. They controlled. That was a lot of fun to watch. Mateo, thank you for the love on the super chat. Why not give Cam Good a shot at linebacker? In fact, I think he is going to get a shot at linebacker because you're going to use AVG more as a pass rusher. So Cam Good, my guy, will start getting. Notice how Cam Good is kept around constantly. And there's something there. Vic Fangio's not going to play you if he doesn't trust you, if he doesn't like you. And Cam has the size and the length and the versatility, let's bring back that word for Chris Brooks, to play inside-outside because of that athleticism that he has. Ian Baller, media heads giving Fields excuses while bash Tua. Yeah, that's, yeah. Fields just, his accuracy is just not there. That's all. And that was never an issue for Tua. I don't think anybody that would talk about a lack of accuracy for Tua then would not really know, what Tua is all about. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Markets, by the way, Dow Jones is up 109 points. S&P is up 5.5%. NASDAQ is up just a little over 0.5%. In the crypto market, Ethereum is up 1.5. It's up to 2,035. Atlas is up 41% as a highlight right now. Polkadot up 2.3%, up to $5.22. And Bitcoin, by the way, is up to 37,500. It is up nearly 2%. So that's some of the stuff going on in the markets. Caspa. I know a lot of people like Caspa, Kyle. I don't have any Caspa, so I can't tell you, but I know a lot of people like Caspa. That's for sure. So hopefully that will work out and hit big for you. Would you consider buying Coinbase stock? I have some Bitcoin, but just want your opinion. Not now. It already made its run. I would have bought it when it was down. Now it's made a run. I don't buy things when they're going parabolic. I buy things when and when it comes to investing, the attitude that a lot of us have to change is you need to invest when it's at its worst, not when it's at its run. That's not when you want to invest. FOMOing in when things are going parabolic, that doesn't help you at that point. You have to do it when it's at its worst, when people think it's going down even more. And that's, those of us that kind of hung in there. See, right now, a lot of people, like, you get in and you're going to get a good price on Cardano at 38 cents right now, which I think it's a terrific price. Now, those of us that really hung in there, we bought it all the way down to 24. So it's at 38. And you got already, you bought some at 30 and at 27 and at 24, then you're making a lot of money off of that already. And that's my point. You have to stay with it. And when it's at its worst, that's when you got to ride it. And that's my problem now with what you're saying. It's already made a run now, a significant run. I don't know if I want to get on Coinbase stock now. I got to look it up where it was, but it was pretty low at one point. You know what you do? Look at what the rich people are doing. Look what the powerful people are doing. And ARK Investments, Kathy Wood, who is, she is one of the smartest investors in the world, and she runs one of the best investment firms in the world in ARK Investments. She was buying Coinbase stock a while back when it was way down. And everybody's going, well, why is ARK Investments buying? Well, there's a reason why these smart people and these people are billionaires and trillionaires. There's a reason why BlackRock, that manages $9 trillion, okay? There's a reason why they want to get into Bitcoin and Ethereum now. They manage $9 trillion. They know a lot more than we do, man. There's a reason why they want to do it. I love the guy that tells me, like some guy yesterday, oh, Bitcoin's nothing. Okay, bro, no problem. The richest people and the most powerful people in the world are investing in Bitcoin now, and they want to do Bitcoin ETFs, but you think it's not serious. Okay. You keep listening to the idiots in the media that don't know jack shit. It's just best way is do your homework and also follow what the smart people are doing. All right, let's do it. Let's unleash the wolf pack. Hour number 2 is next.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
I'm good, How you feeling, my man?
8-3.
Yeah.
I've been saying it the last couple of weeks with the Jalen Ramsey thing. They turned the corner. They just got to win those big games. You know what I mean? To kind of like put the seal on it. But one of the things I talked about going into this past week was I'm looking forward to the 2 Jet games because they're like exhibition games. Mm-hmm. Exhibition games that can bite you in the ass, of course, if you don't play well. But what I mean by is that offense will never do any damage to the Dolphin defense, right? Okay, fine. But that defense is great work for the Dolphin offense for those 2 games to prepare them for the Bills again. And obviously Baltimore's a tough defense and Dallas, but more importantly for the playoffs, because when you get to the playoffs, that's all you're going to face is pretty good defenses. And that's one of the things that I was looking forward to this week. And I got to tell you, I thought the offense, even with a whole bunch of backup offensive linemen, I thought they did one hell of a job. Outside of the turnovers, I really wasn't. I was very impressed with the performance.
Yeah, you got to win those grimy games, right? Like, to be a really good team, you got to win these games where it's not always pretty, right? They play the Jets. Like, this run is a really interesting run coming up. The Jets game, you got the Commanders, you got the Titans, and then you got the Jets again, right? That's a 4-week stretch against teams they are probably going to be double-digit favorites against every single team. And sometimes you're going to, first of all, you're going to get these teams' best shot. They're not going to come down, lay down. And they're all teams that, like, lean on their defense. The Commanders, the Titans, the Jets, like, they're all teams where it's going to be ugly. Like, you're not going to put up 70 points and have this high-flying game where you're talking about Tua's the offensive player of the week after throwing for 450 yards, this and that. It's probably not going to be that type of day. But you can't get bored with winning, right? The games are going to come where you need your quarterback to take over and be Superman. But these games are going to be, hey, we are better than them. Let us get through these games and make sure we stay with what we do, stay steady. And they've done that last week. And this week against the Commanders is another challenge. And so I think you're going to learn a lot about this team over the 4 weeks before you even get to the Cowboys, Ravens, Bills stretch and going into the playoffs. They should go 3-0 the next 3 games, but can they do it? Can they stay healthy? Can they win those grimy games where you start to get the physicality, the mentality that you need, that people question? The question about this team is, are they physical enough? Can they go on the road against a tough team and win? You build those reps of that physicality in games like this. And so these games won't move the needle as far as national recognition, but to me, it's going to say a lot about this team, how they perform over the next 3 weeks.
Barry, Smith, and obviously McDaniel, the job that they are doing on the offensive line, dude.
Butch Barry, Frank Smith, and Mike McDaniel. Yes, got you.
Wow. That might be the most valuable asset of this team might be the fact that they are doing things that almost no team does in the NFL. Right. Most teams are struggling with their line. Most of them don't have 5. That's how the Dolphins were for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And then almost every team, they can't count on their backups.
Right.
And this past week, you're going up against one of the 5 best defensive fronts in the NFL, and you've got 4 out of your 5 guys, or 3 out of the 5 guys. No, 4. Austin got thrown out. We're backups, dude. That's crazy.
Yep. I think that one of the most underrated elements of what you talk about, Butch Barry, and I want to give him a lot of love because I remember our conversation. What was that? Probably 9 months ago, 8-9 months ago, where he was coming off that Denver, maybe 10 months ago, he was coming off the Denver situation, and all the talk was how, the reports were out about how the players didn't like him. They didn't like his style. Everybody was questioning if this is a bad hire. How could he be the guy to fix this offensive line, right? Fast forward to the end of this season, and I can't imagine there's a better offensive line coach doing more with less than Butch Barry is this season. There's offensive lines who have been better, but have more talent. Given the talent, the injuries they've had, I think that Butch, just kind of my brief look around the league, has done more with less than any O-line coach in the league. He deserves a lot of credit for coming in and really helping guys have their best season of their career. Austin Jackson's having the best season of his career. I know he got ejected this past game, but he's having the best season of his career.
Hey, wait, whoa. That's called street cred.
Yeah.
Okay. Martha Stewart goes to jail. She gets street cred, right? Yeah. Rappers go to jail. They get street cred. Austin Jackson's been thoroughly ripped for years now.
Absolutely.
Now he's the pillar of stability on that line.
Yes.
And now he wants to also tell you he's a bad mofo. Don't mess with Austin Jackson now.
He's changed his narrative completely. He's made himself a lot of money, right? The Dolphins declined his 5th-year option last year, and it was a no-brainer for almost everybody, right? Given his play. But now he may end up making more money than the 5th-year option even paid because of how he's played this year. And I think you're absolutely right. Like, we talk a lot about what Mike McDaniel did for Tua's confidence. I think you can say the same for what Butch, Frank Smith, and Mike McDaniel have done for a lot of players in the offensive line confidence, starting with Austin Jackson.
And you know what's also, we all have to have a come to Jesus here, because I talked about this a lot during the flow stuff with Tua, and you know it because you were here. And I keep saying it's not Tua the problem, it's everything around him the problem. The player, the coaches, you can't get the right coaches around it. And now you changed everything and Tua's different, right? Okay, enough of this shit already. The only reason Austin Jackson and Eichenberg weren't successful is because they didn't have the coaching, bro. They didn't have coaching for 2 years. And then last year they were both injured, so these guys couldn't work on them. And somehow or another, they believed in them. They saw something in tape. Whatever they saw, Marvin Allen, Reggie McKenzie, and Chris Greer also saw on tape. And they said, no, we like these guys. And sure enough, they turned Austin Jackson into a player. And Liam Eichenberg is slowly but surely turning into a quiet little MVP, because he goes and fills in different spots, and he's successfully filling in. Outside of that first start at center against, Jesus Christ, dude, against the Bills, the poor guy had to start his first game. Outside of that, he's only gotten better as a player, period. Outside of that. So let's get back to maybe Eichenberg and Austin Jackson were good picks from the get-go. One was really green and young, and Austin Jackson, a young guy, man, and Eichenberg didn't have the proper coaching. Now they have the proper coaching. Holy shit, dude. Wow. What a concept. We're watching some pretty good play.
Yeah, absolutely. Coaching changes everything. That's the one thing we've learned over the last 12 months about this team. And the players win. The players do it out there on the field, but coaching maybe unlocks whatever's inside of them. You can't get something out of them they don't have in them. There's so many players, you're only getting maybe 60, 70% out of them. And the coach's job is to get that last 30 to 40%. And so, it's going to be a really, like, for example, we talk about coaching. It's going to be a very interesting coaching element the next 6 games on the defensive side of the ball about getting pressure without Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips was heating up, right? You're going to have players like AVG and Agba, and maybe JPP gets in the rotation as well, who they just signed to the roster. Can you coach the combined efforts of those groups to replace a Jalen Phillips effort-wise? Those players are not as talented as Jalen Phillips. There's a reason why, but they're good players. Can you coach them enough to where it doesn't feel like there's a drop-off in the pass rush? That's the next challenge. Offensive line's done a great job with that. Now it's going to be on the defensive line to transfer that. And I believe in Austin Clark and Vic Fangio and that group that they can do the same thing.
Not for nothing, but AVG played better than everybody in the first go around when Phillips got injured. He was best passer.
Cabanelli as well. Yeah.
Better than Phillips ever had played, and better than Chubb at that moment. Now Chubb has been a monster the last, I want to say, like 6 weeks or some shit like that. He has really completely turned the corner now. He's playing like what you traded for, in other words.
Yeah.
You know, he's now the guy you traded for. Now, here's where I got to tell you, I don't want to be Chris Greer here. While he was heating up, Jalen Phillips has never gotten hot. Jalen Phillips has never put together a great season yet. Jalen Phillips has had to deal with some injuries in his short career so far. Plus, he had some injury history early on in his UCLA career. Hell, he almost even quit. Now you've got an Achilles injury. And as you know, look at what's going on in Buffalo. This guy's not coming back from it that smoothly either.
Vaughn, yeah.
So this is effed up now. Jalen Phillips is going to come back in the middle of next year at some point, week 7, 10, whatever. He probably won't be himself. Then you've got to go into the final year, and you've got to decide, like, what do we do? Do we tag him? Do we money? Do we pay him? What is he going to ask for? Because he hasn't accomplished it yet. Yet we know the talent is there. And then here's the other one, Eichenberg. So Eichenberg can't ask for big money, so you might, but he is building value up too in the process. These are two situations. Brother, I don't want to be the guy that has to handle the negotiations for it because it's going to be really touchy. Like the agent for Eichenberg is going to say, well, my guy's a heck of a player. Problem is you guys didn't have the coaching. Now you have the coach. You see how he's playing now? So he's this. Well, and Jalen, well, hey, my guy's going to be a 12-sack guy. But, hey, these things happen. Whatever. They're going to be – both agents are going to be negotiating on projection.
Yep.
Dolphins, what do? Do you pay on projection? Do you gamble? How that situation, I don't think people realize, especially the Jalen Phillips one, because pass rushers are so valuable.
Absolutely.
How they're in a tough situation because there's a good chance you won't see the real Jalen Phillips for 2 years.
It's a great point. And before you even get to the long-term extension, they're going to have a 5th-year option decision.
That's my point.
This immediate offseason. Like, he won't be fully healthy when they'll have to make a decision to guarantee him for 2025. I will say, like, my prediction is they'll still pick up the option because of him, and pass rushers are so valuable that you're willing to take that risk on your first-round pick. But yeah, you're right. There is a lot of projection. I will say that I think I've seen enough from Jalen Phillips though to believe that if he does come back himself with injury, then he's going to prove worthy of a big money extension.
It'll be a tag. It'll be for sure. It will not be.
Even though he hasn't reached that 12+ sack potential that I've heard people say he has worthy of, and we can see it with our own eyes. He has 22 sacks in 2.5 years, right? Yeah, absolutely. He has 22 sacks in 2.5 years. Nobody on the Dolphins has had more sacks in that period than Jalen Phillips. So he has still been their top pass rusher over his 2.5 years here. That being said, there's more to be unlocked. That injury is a tough injury to come back for. You said it right. He probably is not going to be himself into the latter portions of 2024, maybe not even 2025. Just coming back.
I don't think it's fair to even think that next year we'll see the real Jalen Phillips. That's not fair.
It takes time. Like, I will say, Achilles surgeries are becoming a little bit more innovative. And so where it used to be a full 12-month injury before you could even play.
So you're saying Jalen Phillips is going to be ready for the Super Bowl, just like Aaron Rodgers?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it would not shock me if he's back on the field near the start of next season, but you're right as far as him maybe being himself. I'm just saying that it used to be a 12-month injury. Sometimes you can have it become a 9 to 10-month injury now. Not saying they push him. I'm just saying that we've seen it. That being said,
that position
is a little different.
I think you do that.
That's why I said even if he does come back earlier than a year, which a year would put him on Thanksgiving, right? Even if he did come back, I don't think he's himself until the latter portion, December, January, maybe even 2025 before you see him. So, yeah.
I just think that the ends have to use leverage. They have to have bend and all that. That Achilles is going to be used, like seriously used.
Yeah.
For I think you're not. I think he comes back middle of next year, and then it's one of those where you're easing him in because it's not going to be an easy thing for him. The one thing that I will say that he has an advantage, he's young still.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not 31 years old and wear and tear and all that. Maybe that's why, in Buffalo, they're having a little bit more issues with, what's his name now? And I'm brain farting. What's the name of the end? The pass rusher they got. Huh?
You said what team?
For Buffalo. What's his name?
Oh, Von Miller. Von Miller.
Right. And so he's coming back too from it, and he's not himself. He's not even close. But he's an older player. So maybe, and that's one positive that I see with Jalen. All right. The other thing is, do you think Tua's kind of reached his point where he's kind of said, like, I got to stop with this shit? Like, because the one thing, the bugaboo that I'm seeing with him right now is the turnovers, bro. He is forcing it too much, and he's turning it over too much.
Absolutely.
So,
I think it's a concern. I think it's a concern. What I will say is Mike McDaniel has talked a lot about if they run the offense right, there's going to be more turnovers because of the fact that they're throwing to spots. And sometimes defenses can jump spots. I think that Tua is at a position right now where he may be trying to force things a little too often to Tyreek and to Waddle to a lesser extent because there hasn't been a third weapon that separated themselves. And so because of that, teams are trying a lot of unique coverages to defend Tyreek and to a lesser extent Waddle. And so when he's throwing the spots, sometimes he's getting caught with a defense showing them something they don't show as far as their rules. Mike McDaniel, Frank Smith have been very clear. They learn the defense's rules. Like if you see, okay, the defense is in cover 3. The linebacker is going to be right here. And so you throw the ball right here. Now, what happens if the linebacker's not there? What happens if the linebacker is showing cover 3 and he's in cover 3, but they say, okay, this week play cover 3, but instead of where you normally are, let's drop 3 yards deeper because we noticed that he likes to throw those over routes right underneath the linebacker. Let's drop 3 yards deeper, right? Defenses have been adjusting and doing different things than they've shown on tape for Tua and for the Dolphins. And so that becomes an interesting element for Tua and for Mike McDaniel because they want to be the ones who dictate scheme based on what they see, but they also don't want to turn the ball over. And so I think you're going to see a little bit of a adjustment the next few weeks on how they call elements. And maybe you might see Tua hold on some passes that he might not throw as quickly. He leads the NFL in time to throw, but there's some times where I'm like, maybe he holds on to that ball a second longer, which is what the defense wants him to do. But he also doesn't make that mistake if he sees a confirmation of where the linebacker is before he throws it. Maybe that helps him reduce a couple of those turnovers.
Yeah, this week one of the sacks came from he drops and then he whatever play was set he wasn't happy with and he held it, and because he held it for the extra half a second, boom, there came the sack. And unfortunately, there are times, especially against those kind of defenses, brother, when you plant that back foot, the ball needs to come out one way or another. You're either trying to complete it or just throw it at somebody's feet and incomplete. But what you couldn't do was take that sack. And so, yeah, he's trying sometimes a little bit. There's the thing with him is the hero ball shit is just, it's innate. It's in him. It's who he is. Mm-hmm. And so he has to fight that monster inside of him that wants to hold on to that ball and make the play. And you know what I mean? If it's up to him, his ass would run more and probably put a shoulder into people because that's how he plays. He I compare him to my Yorkie all the damn time, dude. You know, my Yorkie weighs 3 pounds.
Right.
And that son of a bitch is fearless against anything. It doesn't matter what it is. He's going to and he thinks, you know, like my 75-pound dog, you know, whatever. My little dog thinks that she, you know, he can take her on, you know, and it's like the big dog's looking at it like, you know, get out of here, bro. Just leave me alone. You know what I mean? And that's Tua. Tua's like my Yorkie, fearless. And that's dangerous for him because he's not built like Ben Roethlisberger and Josh. So he can't sit there and take punishment. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a dangerous part. All right, what do you got going on in the NFL Network?
Yeah, I'll be on NFL Insiders the next 2 days. Actually, I'm going to do that in a few minutes here. So I'll be on TV. It runs on NFL Plus from 12 to 1. It'll run on NFL Network from 1 to 2. And so that'll be each of the next 2 days. And this week, I will not be with the Dolphins. I got Monday Night Football, Jaguars, Bengals. We'll have another reporter out there, but I will be with the Dolphins for the 3 weeks that follow that in a row. So
Jags Bengals slightly more entertaining than Dolphins Commanders. Yeah,
they're both probably going to be big blowouts. But the Bengals game would have been a lot more interesting a week ago before Joe Burrow got hurt. But Joe Burrow not being there takes a little bit of sting. But I will say the Bengals still have a really good defense. They're in the playoff mix. The Commanders are done. So you at least have a team that's, still kicking even without their quarterback versus the Commanders team that probably is looking forward to.
You had a fun game this past weekend.
I did. Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, that came down to the last play. Those are going to be two excellent quarterbacks to cover for years to come. The AFC is loading up, man. The AFC is loading up.
David Tepper wanted Young, right? He wanted.
Well, all of them. So I will say this. I know that a lot's come out about that. From what I understand, everybody didn't want Bryce Young. That was even Frank Reich. Now, that was something where, if you remember, the Panthers had the number 9 overall pick.
I know.
They traded up to 1. They had an initial deal to trade up with the Texans to go to 2, and the Texans were going to go to 1. But the Texans backed out of the deal at the last minute. And so if they got up to 2, the Panthers would have taken either Stroud or Anthony Richardson, assuming Houston would have taken Bryce Young, which I believe they would have. So it was a different revisionist history. If the Panthers didn't get to 1 and got to 2 instead, maybe they luck into CJ Stroud or luck into Anthony Richardson. But the way it worked, Texans backed out and the Panthers went to 1, and Bryce was their top quarterback. It just was close,
But I heard that the owner badly wanted Bryce. It was like he was all on board that he thought Bryce was the pick. So it's kind of funny that you're firing Frank Reich, and not our fault, bro. CJ was the pick out of all 3. By the way, CJ was the pick. Right. Because he was.
We'll see. AR's hurt, so we'll see what he does when he's healthy. But CJ's been amazing.
I never bought AR only because I'm never buying AR because of accuracy. That's always going to be my. And by the way, Josh Allen has reproven my theory right again. I thought I was finally somebody broke my theory after all these decades. Nah, once you're inaccurate, you're always inaccurate, and he continues to do his inaccurate stuff. So. I just don't. If you don't have the accuracy, I don't know how you become it, man. You know what I'm saying? I give Jalen Hurts credit.
Yeah.
It's weird. He's weird because he doesn't put up these electrifying numbers. But brother, when you need a dime dropped, like what he did in the back of the end zone this week,
special, man. Special.
Oh, bro, that's you got it. He has it.
Yes.
That was a real deal. All right, baby. We'll catch up later on in the week. I appreciate you.
All right. Sounds good.
You got it. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf and call my friends at KSDT CPAs. Listen, folks, your business is going to need this kind of guidance all year long, helping you in payroll. Maybe, things change with the economy. Sometimes inflation is on a rise or it's on a decline, and you need to prepare your company the right way. KSDT CPAs can help you out. Maybe you need to sell your business. You want to know what the value is. KSDT can help you out for your personal issues. KSDT can do your personal taxes. If you need to do a will, anything like that, please use the QR code. We've got offices in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, and they just added a brand new office in North Carolina in the Charlotte area. And by the way, they're hiring in the Charlotte office, Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. So if you're looking for work, KSDT CPAs, give them a ring, 305-670-3370, or use that QR code for KSDT CPA.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Appreciate it as as always. Yeah, we love Essential Moving Experts too. Great people. Sean Williams. Folks, if you want to make, moving's a pain in the ass. I'll admit that, okay? If you've never done it, it is not fun. And it's even worse if you have the wrong company moving. Then it becomes a real nightmare. Well, you got to call Sean Williams, big Dolphins fan, Essential Moving Experts. They can move you from sea to shining sea. So it doesn't matter where you're moving, anywhere in this country, inside the state, from state to state, from inside the city, inside your neighborhood, whatever it is, your office, your home, they can do it all. Call them. 386-213-4054. That's 386-213-4054. Long moving services, home moving services, flat rates, no surprise charges. Call them 386-213-4054. All right, let's get to it. Let's find out what the hell is going to happen with the University of Miami football program. Changes are a-coming. Players are hitting the portal. Let's go to our Caneswear.com Miami Hurricanes report with the one and only Manny Navaro. Well, I think we can now go to it with the one and only Manny Navaro. Now we can do it.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navaro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navaro.
There it is.
How you doing?
Good. Are you in the portal too?
I'm back in my office. It's going to be a busy time, for the next few weeks here as the real busy season in college football begins now. This is when you're chasing down rumors, when you're when players are entering the portal, when you're talking to guys about where they're going to end up after they enter the portal, when coaches suddenly want to reach out to you and ask you questions, and all kinds of stuff happen. So.
Okay. All right. So talk to us. We've got 4 in the portal right now. We got TVD, Chaney, Flag, and Jafari Harvey, correct?
Yeah, those are the 4 guys. There's going to be more. There's a lot of, I don't want to call it dead weight on the roster, but certainly guys that I think aren't part of the long-term plans here. Guys that didn't really contribute much that can leave now as grad transfers and go elsewhere and start fresh, etc. But yeah, those were the first 4. I think at some point today or soon, you'll probably hear something official from Cam Kitchens and James Williams saying that they're going pro. I think Leonard Taylor's another guy, another underclassman who could potentially leave early. I know he's been up on draft boards. The one I'm interested to see that what happens is Matt Lee, because he still has a year of eligibility, the center. He didn't get an invite to the Senior Bowl like Javian Cohen did. Javian Cohen's going to the Senior Bowl, so that's another guy with eligibility left that's leaving as your starting left guard. But I would suspect that Matt Lee will probably go. I mean, he was really good. He's 48 career starts in college and actually has a year left because of COVID. So, we'll see if maybe the collective comes up with some money for him. But listen, it's a busy time, man. There are going to be some guys making some money to come play quarterback here at the University of Miami, and safety is going to be a position they're looking for help in the transfer portal. I think defensive tackle is another position. So it's going to be a busy time here in the next few weeks.
Are players also leaving because next year you're really not set to be much of a team? and there's not really
No, I don't
a
think
whole.
so at all. Though I think they could actually be one of the best teams in the ACC next year. I know it's hard to see right now because they don't have a quarterback and we don't know what's going to happen. But this has all been prepped for months. Like they were expecting, an exodus of certain guys as the season progressed, and you have to be ready for major roster turnover every single year. You're going to have 30 to 40 new guys every year now in college football because people are going to get upset. They're not going to want to sit the bench, and they have the right to transfer. And so that's why I think it's weird to say this, but I almost think you're better off recruiting guys the second time around because they've already transferred, right? Like once they transfer, if they can't really leave through the portal again unless they're graduate transfers. So it's almost like you get them after their true freshman season, right? Like you get them when they're maybe done with their first or second year. They've already put in all the time in the weight room and eating and all that kind of stuff. And then you get them for the next 2 years or the two best years. So college football's undergone a lot of change, but I expect. Look, Miami's collective is really strong. I've spoken to a lot of people. There is money to spend. They have spent money, and more money will be spent to try to build a really good roster around Mario.
Is TVD going to SMU?
That's a good question. I don't know where TVD is going. I know that there's a lot of options for him because you look around college football, how many guys have left programs. He's not the only quarterback. It's a very packed situation. I can tell you SMU likes their quarterback. I know Rhett Lashley likes the Preston Stone kid that they have there.
Got an extension, by the way. Lashley just got an extension.
Yeah, Lashley just got an extension. They're coming to the ACC. Where I could see TVD ending up is a place like Kentucky. Kentucky, who just took an NC State quarterback, Devin Leary. It's one of those places you can go play in the SEC, hopefully resurrect your career a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see where it is. He's got options. There's going to be people that come at him. I think offering opportunities for him to play or at least compete for a starting job. But look, the market is full, and Miami, I think, is going to be in a good position. I think they're going to end up with a good quarterback here through the portal, and they'll probably end up signing 2 high school guys.
Right. So, what are you hearing? Any names out there that?
Well, I've got my trusty notes here. Oh, I've been writing down from all my conversations. Here's who I would list as guys. I think Will Rogers from Mississippi State is a guy that I think that Miami looked
Isn't he a
into.
little old? Is it Will Rogers like 180 years old now?
Well, listen, all of these guys. I think what you need to.
I was watching Will Rogers when I was a kid.
Yes, the former Mississippi. Well, what's funny is he's thrown for over 12,000 yards because he started so many games at Mississippi State.
He's
over the years.
years old. I would expect
he is. He's a grad transfer. I think Cam Ward from Washington State.
Will Rogers has been playing since they had leather helmets.
Yes, Will has. He's been at this a long time. Another name that people are throwing around is Talia Tungavailoa, whose brother obviously is already a quarterback here in Miami. And
really,
yes. Yeah, that's another name that's interesting. Obviously played at Maryland. I know that there's some questions about whether or not he has eligibility and yada yada yada. We'll find out. That's another name that I was discussing earlier today. So, yeah, I think one of those 3 guys, I know Will Howard is another one, the Kansas State quarterback who just left, is a big name out there. Miami, I'm not worried about the Hurricanes landing a quarterback. They're going to get somebody who has starting experience that can come in and play for a year and let Emory Williams develop, and then you see what you got with the freshmen that are coming in. I think Miami's in a very good position to flip Cedric Bailey, who's the quarterback right now at Hollywood Chaminade, and he's a 3-star kid headed to NC State. Miami's collective is better than NC State's collective, so I would tend to think that they'll be in a good position with him. They got Judd Anderson, so we'll see. But I expect at least 1 transfer quarterback, 2 freshmen most likely, and then you have Emory Williams, and those are your 4 guys in camp.
I'm just laughing in my mind here, thinking something really stupid.
Yes,
just a little fun.
Uh-huh.
Miami brings Tua's brother here, and then we have idiot fans by the end of the year that they're saying tank for the other Tua.
Could happen, man. Could happen. Look, it's gonna be neat, right? Wouldn't it be neat? Don't you think Tua would love that to have his brother quarterback in the same city with him?
Not only that, they're very family oriented. So the fact the brother would come, and then the family can support both kids. They don't have to travel nearly as much. And then on top of all of that, the U will get better attendance because then Tua will go to games, and Dolphin fans will go to games just to get a view of Tua at the Canes game. So there's like this whole beautiful. It's not a vicious cycle. It's a delicious cycle. I don't know. It's going to bring a lot of buzz to the team. So you mentioned the Tagovailoa kid. I didn't even know that he would be available for that. That's
one of the names. That's one of the names that I was given today. So
good too. He's actually a decent quarterback.
Yeah, he put up good numbers at Maryland. In that scheme again. Any Miami fans thinking they're getting like a Drake May or a Caleb Williams or somebody that guy doesn't exist, right? Like these are all going to be guys that did okay in other places and just want an opportunity. And the thing is, this is a very attractive place to come because Miami has a really good offensive line, right? They got they're going to have at the minimum 3 starters back. They have Samson Okunlola, who was a 5-star recruit. They got a kid in McCoy, who's another one the coaching staff is super high on. They've got running backs. Mark Fletcher's one of the best running backs. And then you have a couple receivers. Xavier Restrepo, from what I was told last night, could end up going with Tyler Van Dyke wherever he ends up going. So we'll see what happens there. But I think the other 2 receivers, both of those guys, Colby Young and George, both of those guys were solid this year. They put up good numbers, right? So you have two legitimate receivers. You're recruiting guys.
Going with him, then it's SMU, bro. Then it's SMU.
I don't know that it's SMU. It could be somewhere else. Listen, there's a lot of openings, and Preston Stone is a guy that ultimately is good enough for SMU. I think Rhett Lashley doesn't want to disrupt the apple cart over there, so they kind of have a good thing going. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. No, that makes sense too. If the kid's gonna come back and he still has, and they had a good year, and hell, he got an extension, so obviously everything went well. That makes sense that you wouldn't, disrupt it. Unfortunately, and you got to tell TVD, hey man, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah,
it's just one. But I, if you're TVD, you really want to go there because you can trust him that you're going to have a good year. Wherever you go now, you're really rolling the dice.
Yeah, and I think look, for TVD, this is about going to an offense that he likes to play in. So it's gonna be a tempo offense. It's gonna be like what he did the last 6 games of his Rookie of the Year season in 2021 when Rhett Lashley ratcheted up the tempo and Miami was just flinging the ball down the field. Defenses didn't have time to set. He didn't have to sit there and read zones. It was boom, 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 boom down the field. So whoever runs that kind of offense. And again, the crazy thing, is look at how many coaching vacancies have just been filled and still haven't been filled, right? Like there's going to be more coaching carousel. So the crazy part is these kids are all just jumping in, and it's like they have people they know. They have obviously other coaches they talk to throughout this process. A lot of back channeling, right? That always happens. But at the same time, it's like, well, what if that guy doesn't get the job there? Or what if he's not hired to be the coordinator there, right? Like, it's a gamble, but it's part of the game. It's part of it. That's why Mario calls it the Wild Wild West, and that's why he's accurate.
All right, what are you working on in the Athletic? So folks can check it out, my friend.
I filed this late last night, but it's an easy to digest position by position breakdown for the Hurricanes in terms of the roster, in terms of starts, snaps, so that people, when they say, who do we have there? They have a guide to sort of guide them through position by position for the Canes. So that'll be going up on the website tomorrow sometime, hopefully with the news about Cam Kitchens and James Williams officially declaring. Hopefully they come out and finally say it. So I have that. I'm going to the ACC championship game on Saturday. I'm going to be there to cover FSU Louisville. And I'll be writing about that game and how those teams were built to sort of, beat Clemson and through the transfer portal, the unique approach of that. So There's plenty, and I'm gonna have a new Wide Right podcast as well, so that people who want to hear more of what I'm talking about in terms of the Canes, they can tune into the Wide Right podcast.
Oh, by the way, they're asking me who's going to start for the Canes on the bowl game.
I think Jakari Brown is a possibility. I know Mario Cristobal is trying to convince him not to enter the portal, to give it a shot and play in the bowl game to help his game film out. But ultimately, that's a decision I think Jakari has to make on his own. So I think we've all sort of penciled in that he'd be going. So we'll see if maybe he needs to play in that game and do well to get some schools to pull the trigger on him and give him a scholarship. But I don't think so. From what I had heard, he had other schools already interested in him. So
if I'm him, there's no way I play that game. No way. I risk injury.
Right.
I risk having a terrible game and putting that on tape. You had a chance during the season to play me, and you chose not to. Screw you. That's
right.
If I'm Jakari, that's what I'm saying. Yo, dude, you didn't. So now you need me, and now you want to feed me this bullshit that I got to play this game to get a scholarship? Nah, I'm out of here. You guys have a nice life. I'm moving on. So my prediction would be that Jakari doesn't play that game because he has nothing to gain from playing that game, and he has everything to lose. What if he blows out a knee or a shoulder or something?
Well, I think the only way he would stay is if Mario guarantees a scholarship for next season. Right. And hey, I'm still getting my school paid for next year while I wait to go in the portal the following year, Right. I mean, I guess the only thing would be for Jakari, can he graduate, right? And that would be, if he stays at Miami, would he graduate and get his degree if he were to get hurt in that situation? So
right. Yeah. If I'm him, I would leave. Yeah.
Yeah. So
overall.
probably a walk-on to answer your question. Which walk-on that is, I don't know. I have no idea. If we didn't see Jakari Brown this year, what makes you think I've seen a walk-on?
Where's the football? I'm going to warm up.
Throw it over here. I'm going to start warming up too.
I can walk on, bro. Let's go.
All right, brother.
At Manny _Navaro, and catch his work there at The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Good talking to you, man. Take care.
Don't forget, folks, go to caneswear.com. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. Online, in person, doesn't matter. Caneswear.com, online, anything and everything practically with a Canes logo. They've got Dolphins gear and Marlins gear and Panthers gear, Inter Miami gear and Miami Heat gear. There you go. All kinds of stuff. And use our code BIG010 for 10% off. Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. Thank you all out there. And we thank, of course, the great people at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, the finest dealership in the business, 15601 Pines Boulevard. Yes, sir. And if you own or lease an Acura, make sure you go visit my friends, because Mike Chen and Jordan Ferber do a great job. They've got 3.9% financing right now for 36 months on the 2024 Integra, $329 a month. The TLX 2023, $399 a month, 3.9% financing for 36 months. The MDX, the 2024, we've had two of those in our family. We have currently just one left. The 2024, $529 a month, 3.9% financing for 36 months. And the 2023, this is a beautiful car, the TLX Type S. It is loaded, folks, and you can get it for $649 a month. We got all kinds of great deals and certified pre-owned vehicles at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. What do we got here? Brooklyn Rob, why do people think if they put Allen or Herbert in McDaniel's system, they would have the same results as Tua. Neither of those guys have accuracy or anticipation, as well as choke in big moments. Yep, you are correct. They may not be able to play in that system. You are reading it perfectly there, Brooklyn Rob. It is something that would be, I would tell you that Josh Allen can't play in the system. Herbert would be the one that I would say, I don't know if he can or not. But I know this, when it comes to clutch, I would rather trust Tua over those guys. Coaching is my big concern, and I would imagine, Papa, you're talking about the Canes. And I am with you there. No matter what you tell me, who's transferring in or who gets recruited for the Miami Hurricanes football team, I love everything about Mario Cristobal except his game day coaching. So I know he can recruit. I know he can get players. You know, it looks like he can build the staff. He's a fantastic human being, but I'm not convinced he's a great coach. And I need to be convinced of that before I really feel good about the Canes. We'll see. We'll see how the future, we'll see what the future holds. Let's see. Half the fan base will bash and criticize him like they do to Tua. Yeah, that's probably what will happen, Steve. Keep a lookout for Elijah Lofton coming from Vegas Bishop Gorman. Freshman next year. He's going to help out as a target for anyone tight end. Okay. Hey, some Viking fans want Flores to coach their team. Good. I hope they get it. About 300 people in the chat. Half have taken a second to smash the like button. That's it, baby. Thank you, Jay. Smash that like button, please. It's very important. How many bad throws to wide open receivers does Herbert miss? I've seen him only on primetime games, and it's a lot. No, it's what he does. It's just one of those things. And the choke gene is also there too. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar and the great Alan Blanco. We love him, and you will love him too. If your business, your club, your fantasy league, your family, your get-together, your travel group, you know, sometimes those travel groups and they all wear the same shirt or something. Man, you need somebody for custom printing and embroidery. 3A Graphics is in Hialeah. They know how to get it done. Here's the number, 786-618-1443. Please call Alan. You can contact him there, 786-618-1443. Custom printing and embroidery. Let's go over the calendar right now. Tonight at 7:30 on TNT, the Bucks and the Heat. The Bucks are favored by 3. The over and under is 226.5. The Panthers last night defeated the Senators 5-0 to improve to 13-7-1. Reinhardt with 2 goals in the game. Bob had 20 saves. Barkov had 3 assists. Tonight they take on the Maple Leafs. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. The Panthers are 6-4-1 on the road. Bears defeat the Vikings 12-10. Really exciting game. Not. Anyway, Bears improved to 4-8. Minnesota 6-6. The wheels are finally falling off of Josh Dobbs. 7:30 tonight, the University of Miami is in action. Jim Larinaga and the boys are on the road to take on Kentucky. 7:30 tip at Rupp Arena. Miami is 5-0, and Kentucky's 5-1, and Kentucky's favored by 7. The over and under is 164. On Sunday at 1 o'clock, Dolphins and Commanders. We will get you started at 11 a.m. with the pregame show. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Let's get to a little music history, birthdays, all kinds of good stuff. Got that going on here on the show. Let's see where we at here. Music history today. In 1974, on this date, John Lennon made his last ever concert appearance when he joined Elton John on stage at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Lennon performed 3 songs: Whatever Gets You Through the Night, I Saw Her Standing There, and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. In 79, Ringo Starr's Los Angeles home burned down. While he wasn't injured, he lost most of his Beatles memorabilia in the fire. Sucks. In 1980, Blondie released their album Auto American, which featured their hit song, Rapture. In 1987, REM had their first entry in the top 10 with their classic tune, This One Goes Out to the One I Love. This one goes out to the one I... All right. In 99, Rage Against the Machine had the #1 album in the country with the Battle of Los Angeles, the band's second record to top the charts. In 2006, Pamela Anderson filed for divorce from Kid Rock after 4 months of marriage. Can't imagine why. In 2005, Soundgarden singer Chris Cornell sued his ex-wife and one-time manager Susan J. Silver for more than $1 million in damage, claiming she diverted money owed to him to other members of the band. That's not very nice. But then again, you know, that's why she's an ex-wife, right? All right, what else do we have going on? Rest in peace. Killing Joke guitarist Kevin Jordy, unfortunately passed away. Kevin Jordy Walker died on Sunday, November 26. He suffered a stroke. He was 64. The band, it's with extreme sadness. We confirm. I'm sorry, here we go. We confirm that at 6:30 a.m. on the 26th of November in 2023 in Prague, Killing Joke's legendary guitarist Kevin Jordy Walker passed away after suffering a stroke. He was surrounded by family. We are devastated. Rest in peace, brother. Walker joined Killing Joke. In 1979, he appeared in all of the band's 15 studio albums, spanning from the 80s self-titled debut through 2015's Pylon. Also kind of interesting in that one was Metallica guitarist Kirk Hammett. And Kirk called Jordy a huge influence on him. He says, been playing old songs for old friends all day. Jordy Walker, R.I.P. He was a huge influence on me. The way he played that Gibson ES-295, the way he played My Heart Goes Out to his friends and family, and his music is being played loud as hell. Killing Joke forever. 80s. I like the Killing Joke, actually. They're pretty good. And by the way, Hellfest was announced. 2024 Hellfest Open Air in Clisson, France. Is it Clisson or Clisson? I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it. Any French people out there want to correct me? Clisson or Clisson, France. June 27, 28, 29, and 30. And just to, throw it out there, Avenged Sevenfold, Machine Head, The Prodigy, Body Count, Metallica, Saxon, Suicidal Tendencies, Foo Fighters, Offspring, Rival Sons. I mean, it's just a ton of acts. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Like to see Rival Sons. But there's a lot. I mean, the lineup is crazy. Tom Morello is there. They have like 6 different stages. Extreme, Mammoth, I would really love to go to this thing. It would be so cool. Steel Panther, Accept, Bruce Dickinson. If you like Dropkick Murphys, you can see them. I'm not really much of a fan. The Interrupters are there. Suicidal Tendencies. I mean, it's crazy, dude. The amount of bands that they have here and really good acts. So if you're interested in going to France to see Hellfest, you can do that. All right, let's get you some birthdays today. It is November 28th, and I think there's a couple of interesting names today. First of all, Trey Songz, R&B singer, is 39 today. The late Anna Nicole Smith, born on this date in 1967. We lost her in 2007. She was an interesting character. I got to say, sexy as hell. Got to give it to her. She was a hot-looking woman. She married like a 90-year-old dude. I need approval here from Sean. Summer Rae, a wrestler. She's 40. Oh, I got 2 thumbs up. Okay. So she's legitimate and hot. I think that's why he put 2 thumbs up. That's what I'm going with. 1 thumb for legitimate and 1 thumb for hot. Let's see, what other ones do we have here? Mary Elizabeth Winstead, movie actress, is 39. Jake Miller, rapper, I don't know who he is. He's 31. Chase Elliott, I know him. Race car driver, he is 28 years old. Randy Newman, short people got no reason. He is 80 years old. Alan Ritchson, TV actor, is 39. Jarvis Landry, the Juice, is 31 years old. Shamillionaire, the rapper. Come on, who's not riding dirty? He is 44. Jon Stewart is 61. Judd Nelson. Yeah, Breakfast Club. He is 64. Barry Gordy Jr. is 94 years old today. God bless you, Barry. Man, you are still killing it at 94. That is birthdays today. Celebrating in the world. What else do we have? Big O, do you have any real concerns about the Pats in the future, seeing they likely are getting one of the top 2 picks? No. I have no concerns whatsoever about the Pats. Belichick's going to be gone. I don't care who they hire. Not worried at all. We have a better organization now. Not worried about the Jets. Not worried about the Bills. And not worried about the Pats. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Bills either. The Bills are on the decline. I just need the Dolphins to play like I know they can play and beat the Bills like they should. Like they should have the first time around this year and got embarrassed and, ended up being a bunch of frauds. So no more fraudulent performances. Go beat this team already, dude. They're not that good. They only play great against you. Go get it done, man. You're good enough to beat Philadelphia. You're good enough to beat the Bills. You're good enough to beat Kansas City. You're good enough to beat the Bengals with Joe Burrow. Let's go. Step up and do it. So I'm not worried. It's just they've got to get it done already at this point. Let's see. I often find myself singing Baron Hero by the Dropkick Murphys when I've had a few and I'm out of town. I don't know the song. I'll tell you this about the Dropkick Murphys. They have a very interesting fan base. We'll leave it at that. Let's see. Is Jarvis Landry still playing? You know what? I'm not sure if he's on. I think he is on a roster this year. Can you look it up, Sean? Because I want to say he's on somebody's roster. Meaning he had his time. You know, he was a possession guy. That was a problem with Jarvis. Too many of you bought it in like he was some kind of a frontline guy when at best he was a third guy, really. He wasn't really even a number two. Yes.
He is a free agent.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's just he never was explosive enough. It's a guy can tough as hell, can help you move the chains, but just wasn't good enough. So, wow. So nobody signed him. I thought he was at least on somebody's back-end roster or something. That was one where I was at odds with a lot of Dolphin fans in those days, you know, because he wasn't worthy of a contract. And Dolphin fans down here wanted to pay him like he was a number one wide receiver. And I always looked at him like a complimentary guy. It's that he played so hard that you admired the shit out of it, you know, that he was so physical. But really, in the end, yeah, not a frontline guy. Baptist Health, now that's frontline right there, folks. You don't need to be a professional athlete to go where the pros go. The doctors at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care can see you now. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to request an appointment and get yourself back in the game. And folks, if you have an injury right now that's keeping you from doing what you love, come on, man. You don't want to do that. You want to do what you're passionate for. Take charge of your health. Get back into the game with the help of the all-pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Use that QR code there or go to baptisthealth.net/ortho to find out more. All right, let's take a really quick break here for hour number 2 to go into hour number 3. And Anthony Chang will be joining us in a little bit. But when we come back, I want to get into a couple of things. I want to get into the Dolphins signing of Jason Pierre Paul. And I want to get into something that isn't happening here, that is happening in other places, and I love it, and the missing ingredient for the Dolphins. All of that when we come back right here on the Big O Radio Show, powered by the legend that is Sean Stanley.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Rock and roll, baby. Hour number 3 of the program. Hello, one and all. Hope you all are doing well. Like my Dolphins hat. There we go. Anyway, a lot of Dolphin stuff to go and talk. A couple of things to talk about today. First of all, they signed Jason Pierre Paul, and at this point, you need another pass rusher. Okay, he has experience. Does he have a lot left in the gas tank? Probably not. But at this point, I know the Barnett guy was available, but he never made it to Miami, or they didn't want to claim him, obviously, off of waivers, because then you got to pick up the salary and all that kind of stuff. You're not really going to have a lot of options at this point. This is November 28th. Okay, this is late in the season. If you're left out there, you know, I hope they can get a couple sacks out of him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't look at this like this is a savior move, because I think you're going to have to count on the people that you already have there. And Andrew Van Ginkel was looking, you know, so fantastic early on in the season when Jalen Phillips was injured. He was the best pass rusher on your team. So I would imagine you're going to unleash the Kraken again with him. And then Emmanuel Ogbah, you know, we talked a little bit about this in the postgame show. Nobody is going to be more motivated than Emmanuel Ogbah, because he probably doesn't fit this scheme. So he will be released at the end of the year. And then he'll be a free agent, and then he can go and sign with another team that he fits their scheme. But now he has an opportunity to kind of prove to Fangio and the Dolphins that he does fit the scheme and can do what Fangio needs him to do. If he can, then maybe they can decide to want to bring him back. They probably won't, but just for the hell of it. And then it also sells himself in the offseason to other teams too. He will be, I mean, Ogba's a pro anyway, so it's not like he's not going to be trying. He tries. That's who he is, dude. He's a pro. And this move, it's more about, can Cameron Good or others help out at linebacker since you're going to move Van Ginkel more to pass rush? Is it more about Van Ginkel and Ogba taking over and replacing Jalen Phillips, which they can? I think they can. Don't focus too much on JPP. JPP is there for depth purposes. Okay? They're not going to be desperate to use him. They are going to use the guys that already are here and know the system, and they're considered better players for them right now. The JPP thing is just an insurance policy on the back end if you happen to need it. But I don't expect it to become a big part of your defense unless you have more injuries. Just an insurance policy. I would be more excited and I would be more focused on Ogba and certainly AVG getting the job done, and then finding out what's the other linebacker, because it might be Cameron Good, kind of helping out there too. That's what I'm going to be intrigued to see. Dolphins, by the way, are favored by 9.5 over the Commanders on Sunday. We will have our pregame show. Sean and myself will start off at 11 a.m. Kickoff will be at 1 o'clock. What is the missing ingredient for the Miami Dolphins? And I'm talking about, obviously, the missing action would be, or the threshold is, you start winning playoff games, right? Good teams, playoff games. That's the next threshold for Miami, right? But what is the missing ingredient right now? What's the one thing that you've got to fix? Turnovers. Your defense has turned the corner. Your offense is good enough that you can score points, you can run the ball, and you can run the ball with backup running backs. With backup offensive linemen. You can protect your quarterback with backup offensive linemen. It's all about turnovers right now. It's all about Tua not throwing interceptions, or throwing a hell of a lot less, because you're going to have some interceptions, but throw a lot less. It's about Tua not fumbling. It's about Tyreek not fumbling. It's about Tyreek and Waddle not dropping passes, but mostly turnovers. Turnovers are it's the one bugaboo that, okay, we know you're good enough, even with turnovers, to beat bad teams. But you haven't proven to be good enough to beat the good teams. You think you're ever going to get there if you add turnovers too? No, you won't. And it's a beautiful thing. Not the turnovers. But for many years, you and I, as Dolphin fans, we said, oh, we need a head coach. Oh, we need a front office. Oh, we need a quarterback. Oh, we don't have an offense. Right? And now you got a front office. Now you got a good head coach. Now you got a good quarterback. Now you got everything you need. Everything. The defense is there. The offense is there. The talent is there. What's missing? Your defensive stats are only getting better. You have some of the best offensive stats. So the balance is there. You have one of the better offensive minds. You have one of the better defensive minds. What's missing? One thing. I can't say that 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 35 years ago. It was always all kinds of things. In the Marino era, no, you have no defense, no running game. We got Tom Olivedati. We got, there was always something that was getting in the way. Oh, we can't draft. Kumaro and Boza and Sammy Smith and Davenport and those of you that are old enough, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Well, they know how to draft now. They know how to trade. They know how to find street free agents. They know how to develop offensive linemen. They know how to develop quarterbacks. They can do it all. They can play defense. They can play offense. There's one ingredient missing. One ingredient. Hold on to the goddamn ball. Stop with the turnovers. It's amazing. You don't commit stupid penalties and you don't turn over the ball. It doesn't matter how weak you are offensively at times. You're going to be in a lot of games. And we haven't been closer. I'm sorry. This is the closest we've been to a championship in decades. These teams are better than the Marino teams because they're more balanced. They got it all. It's right there. Stay away from the turnovers, and everything changes for the Miami Dolphins. Don't forget, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, maybe you want us broadcasting at your business once a week, once a month, once a quarter, whatever it is, we can do it. Maybe you want to be a sponsor of one of our insider segments, 786-754-4664. That's the phone number. That's the business number, 786-754-4664. Okay. Not a contest line, not a request line, not a talk line, strictly business. 786-754-4664. And thank you all for the support. And remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Oh, how do you plan on taking your money when ready? Direct to your bank, little at a time, or direct to USD, then take out a little at a time? Every exchange is different, how much you can take out at a time. Yes. Yeah, I probably will change it to USDC, right? And then accordingly move it across when I need it. Yeah. It's probably what I'll do. Oh, there's a part of me that says I should just move it into Bitcoin. And then, as I need it, I'm letting it grow too. Because Johnny, what people don't realize, I know you follow this now. We're not ever going to see these numbers again because mass adoption's coming. So we'll never see these numbers again. It's what people don't realize. We're about to get 1 billion people into crypto. All of these lows are the lowest of lows, and they're going to be gone. So that's one of the things that it's because people talk about, well, you'll have your pump, and then there'll be a dump, and then there'll be a retracement, but it won't be back here to these numbers ever again for most of these coins, the good ones. And that's where I'm kind of in a catch-22 because I know that Bitcoin's only going to go in one direction. That's up. I got home for lunch to find a package from Caneswear. My Miami Mike shirt is sharp. There you go. The injuries will not stop happening, Eric. That's part of the NFL. What you have now is also depth, Eric. Something you didn't have before. They can actually get another running back, get another lineman. That's kind of pretty cool. When the last time Phillips was injured, they brought a guy named AVG aboard, and Said, okay, you're going to get playing time, and he busted out. There's depth now. You're going to have injuries. We can't look. It would be beautiful. It would be perfect world for all of us, for our team to have no injuries for the rest of the year and every year. But that's just not the case. It's just not. And the injuries are part of it. As long as it's not to the quarterback, you can almost try to recover from anything else. Or some, Tyreek or some, game-changing player like that. Well, I don't know about the field goal stuff, Paul. I don't know if that's even fixed. Randall Hill and Aaron Craver in the first 2 rounds in 91 was the worst. Aaron Craver. Dude, that's a name. Nice job by you. Let's see. We stopped running, but yeah, no doubt. Oh, you're like Stevie Nicks, changing your hat during every break. Yep, that's me. Oh, do you think we'll attempt a run on 3rd and 1 this week? Nah. He doesn't believe in it. John Avery and Yatil Green were terrible picks back in the day. Yep, they were. They were, David. Jacksonville and Houston also lost key offensive linemen last weekend. Yep. Big O, I came across a person on Facebook. He says he's a Dolphins and Bills fan. He also says he's a true fan. Do you find that weird? Yeah. He's not a true fan. You can't be a Bills and a Dolphins fan. You can't be a Cowboys Giants fan. You can't be a Chiefs Raiders fan. No. That's some bogus ass shit that this guy is hedging his bets on multiple teams so he can always have a good season with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Pick a team, dude. Pick a team. That's your team. You got one. That's it. I'm not rooting for the Falcons. I'm not rooting for Tampa or Jacksonville. They're not my favorite teams. Although I have no ill will to Jacksonville and Tampa. I will say they're not like favorites or anything, but I don't have any ill will towards them. I do wish them well when they're playing. I do that as a Florida guy. But they're not my favorites or anything. I'm not doing that with any team. I'm stuck with my Marlins. I'm not, sucks, but it is what it is. Stuck with my Canes. That's just the way it is. You pick your team and you ride. That's how we do things. That's how I've been doing it for 57 years, and I'm not changing it. So that guy's a phony ass if he is a Bills Dolphins fan. Get the hell out of here with that shit. Hanging around my ass rooting for the Bills. Love the hat. Add a straw in your mouth and you could go on Miami Hee Haw. I like it. Big O, I came, is it? At this point, not even Losaka Polite can get a 3rd and 1 play with McDaniels in charge. That's it. Eddie Earthquake Blake. Ride or die with one team. Always. Always. Let's see. That's like being a Heat and Knicks fan. How does that make sense? Or that's like being an Inter Miami and Orlando City fan. Yeah, no, you can't do that. I think ABG and the DL will have a big game against Washington. They were giving up almost 5 sacks a game. Their QB was on pace to set the record for getting sacked the most in a season. Yeah, no. Miami should kick their ass. And Washington, fired their defensive coordinator, traded away their pass rushers. Their defense isn't as scary as it used to be. I have no fears in this game. This is just a game. You know what I fear in this game? what that other gentleman is worried about, injuries. That's the only thing I fear of losing is a player to injury in the game. The Washington Commanders are nothing. They're absolutely nothing. All right, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Let's get into a little Miami Heat talk with our BaptistHealth.net/ortho Miami Heat report with the one and only Anthony Chang.
Heat fans, the fast break is on. It's our Baptist Health of South Florida Heat Report with insider Anthony Chang. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at BaptistHealth.net. Here's Anthony Chang.
There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Good, Big O. How are you?
Excellent. Can't complain, bro. I would if the Heat had that stinking attitude of, we're going to coast the seat. No, but they're giving me entertaining basketball. Yeah. They're giving me the basketball that they give a shit, which the first 4 games, they were pissing us off.
Right.
And I think they got the message, by the way. Not for nothing, but I think they got the message. I think there were a lot of response from fans and all that. And I don't know. I don't know if there was a coming of Jesus somewhere in that organization or something. But after that 4th game and that 1-3 start, or 1-4 start, what was it? 1-4 or
1-4? 1-4. Yeah.
There seemed to be some kind of a tweak or something. I don't know what the hell it was. Was there anything?
I mean, they honestly just started playing better on both sides of the court. And they're still giving, and they're also just giving us entertaining fourth quarters, right? I mean, those fourth quarters are entertaining. For better or for worse, they are. They have you on the edge of your seat, unfortunately. A lot of these.
Yeah, but I want that.
I know.
I don't need that. And by the way, I was disappointed the other night. Bam did not step it up when I needed him to step it up, bro. God, that was.
Yeah, like I mean, Eric's. It was like, against the Knicks, right? 2 games ago.
Yeah. I was like, come on, dude, this is the night I need you to be that guy. And he just was not that guy. And I was like,
Eric Spoelstra mentioned when Bam missed the next game in Brooklyn the following night. And he said that you could tell that Bam's hip started to bother him in that fourth quarter. He just wasn't himself. I think he took 1 shot attempt, or maybe he might have taken more, but he didn't make a shot. He was scoreless, I believe.
And that's what it was.
His usual great self on defense. Yeah, the hip just seemed to tighten up, and he just wasn't himself. And then he missed the next game. He's expected to play tonight, but you worry. I mean, that's a lingering injury now that he's missed 3 games for on and off here since the first week of the season.
He was missing shots too that night.
Yeah.
Also.
Missed that dunk at the end too. That dunk.
Yeah. You're like,
it was contested, but he makes that usually.
Yeah, you were off that night. It was just a rough one. So, all right, you addressed shoot around, all that stuff. Who's playing, bro? What's going on?
Yeah, so obviously Tyler's still out. Drew Smith is out. RJ Hampton is out. Bam and Duncan are probable, so that's a good sign. I think they're both going to play, which kind of surprised you on Duncan because you thought the sprained right thumb, that's a shooting hand. That might be a little bit. He's a shooter, but it looks like he'll play. Haywood Highsmith is listed as questionable after taking that hard fall in Brooklyn. I don't expect him to play. He's listed as questionable, so I guess there's a chance, but I don't expect Haywood Highsmith to play. He told me yesterday he was still sore from that fall. That's kind of like the injury Giannis missed a week or so with against the Heat in the playoffs last season, where he fell on his butt and he missed like a week of playoff games. So imagine like Haywood Highsmith in the regular season, he's not playing 2 days later, 3 days later after that fall. And then Jimmy's questionable. That's the big question mark that I don't know right now. He didn't practice yesterday, turned his ankle in New York, missed the Brooklyn game. Didn't look like a bad turn of the ankle. And the fact that he's questionable is a good sign that it's not serious, but it's the same ankle that he turns 2 or 3 times a season. So I don't know if he will play it cautious or not. We'll see in a few hours.
Interesting. Yeah. And listen, the other night I even gave him a shot just because it's Eric Spoelstra. You know what I mean? I was like, you just never know with this guy.
You never know. Yeah.
You never know what the and early on they were giving a little bit of a battle, and but eventually personally for me, I mentioned this a couple times on the show. I was in a way I was happy for that game for the young guys because they get to play a lot and carry the load and get a lot of experience and all that kind of stuff. And even though it was a loss, but it's good experience for them, overall. And the one play where Jokic finds,
Yeah, that was nice. Hawkins.
That was beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so apparently our boy Jokic was misquoted or whatever, misrepresented in that whole thing. So I'm glad, because I was going to be disappointed in him if he was really whining about it, because I got to go with track record. And the track record is the Miami Heat know what the hell they're doing.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and whose rotation spot is he taking? I mean, this is a deep. We've said it. The depth on this team is impressive. Yes, people want him to play minutes, and yes, ideally he would get some minutes and he'd learn through the mistakes. But whose minutes is he taking? And there's no slot for him right now, unfortunately for him, unless there are injuries.
He's not good enough right now.
Right. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Let's just call it like we see it. He's not Jaime Jaquez right now.
Right. He's behind Jaime Jaquez. That's obviously very clear. He's 2 years younger than Jaime Jaquez too. I know we look at him as a more experienced because he's his second year in the NBA, but he's 2 years younger. He's 20. I mean, he is a very young player. And offensively, I think he can help, right? But defensively, he's just right now, it's a big work in progress. Defensively, you saw him. He picked up 5 fouls in how many minutes did he play last game? 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just tough for him to stay on the floor right now defensively. That's the biggest area for him that he has to improve on.
Yeah, dude. I mean, listen, this is not a team that just brings in young guys and says, here you go, kid, let's go. All the responsibility. No, dude, you got to earn every little centimeter of responsibility. And when you see, it's like what I was talking about with Chris Brooks with the Dolphins. This is an undrafted kid, and they have him blocking in key moments in the game as a rookie.
Yeah, it says everything you need to know. Yeah.
Exactly, because running backs, they don't worry about them running because that's natural for them. They worry about them blocking because they'll get people killed if they don't know who to block or how to block. The fact that kid's undrafted, he comes in and they're already trusting him to block, that already tells you where he's at mentally with them. And so he's injured. And I know they're going to bring him back because he's so versatile. Same thing with Jaquez. It's why I was, every time we were talking the trade, I was like, no, you go ahead and trade Jovic. Don't touch Jaquez. Give me Jaquez. That's the guy I want. Because you just see it, dude. He is so advanced. And for the Heat to put the ball in his hands, to trust him to play defense, to trust him to defend LeBron, it's just stupid. It's ridiculous how much the Heat trust this kid. And it's obvious. And so when you see Jokic and you see Jaquez, it's night and day, brother. And the Heat tell you by the actions of the Heat, it's all you need to know about what they feel about one guy and what they feel about the other guy.
Yeah, and this isn't, they're not the Detroit Pistons who are just giving, like you said, young guys a chance to just grow on the fly and learn in games. Like, the Heat is in a win-now mode. We all know that. Whether you believe they can win a championship or not, they went to the finals last year. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals 3 of the last 4 years. They're about winning right now. Jimmy's 34, Kyle's 37. You have a higher payroll, right? Like, you got to win now. You don't have time to be putting a 20-year-old in there that's not ready yet. He's just, unfortunately for him, just not ready yet. And look, we know the Heat has a very good track record of developing players. Jovic is very talented. He has a lot of natural gifts. He has the size. He has good. He can shoot with that size. He could pass. He's just still a raw player. And with time, he'll get better. If he sticks around and he's able to stick around here, he'll get better and he'll get his chance. Yeah,
the Dolphins, I said, are kind of like the Heat now. Now they know how to develop players too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lot of stuff the Heat have been doing for decades now. Some of these other franchises are finally picking up.
And that's the secret sauce in salary cap sport and salary cap leagues. You got to develop these low cost players because that gives you an advantage, right? We've seen it with the Dolphins. We've seen it with the Heat for years. Like that gives teams an advantage. Teams that can develop guys that are at a low salary and make them into one of the top players in the team, right? That's the secret sauce to having long-term sustainable success.
That's part of the secret sauce. The other part of that sauce is he has to have the right demeanor to on your team, because you start bringing in shady characters, it pollutes your team. The Heat do a magnificent job of finding the talent, but they also find the character that goes with the talent.
For sure.
They rarely bring in the dude that's got a questionable character. They just don't want that. That guy won't fit here in that culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I'm watching the Dolphins. They're doing. I actually talked about it the last couple of weeks that Chris Greer has done a marvelous job of adding players that have a lot of leadership qualities to them on this roster, and it's littered all over. And the Heat, they just ooze that, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit if you're Haywood Highsmith, bro. You are a professional. You know how to carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? And Highsmith, from the moment you saw him in the summer league, you're like, whoa, this guy's built the right way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, I see what they're doing here. You know what I'm saying? And that's the other magical thing that the Miami Heat have done for 20 plus years. They bring in the right people. Once in a while, there'll be, some guys,
of course,
that's a little bit shady. They'll take their chances. I remember Rod Strickland came in, right, and he had he had a reputation, and brother, he was nothing but a professional here, nothing but a pro's pro the entire time while he was here. Then you'll end up with Todd Day, and shit will go awry, right? Todd Day's the one that got into it with the valet, right? Was it Todd Day or Todd something?
I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, but I think that sounds right. That sounds
Smush
right.
Parker. It was Smush Parker.
Smush Parker. It was Smush Parker. Yes, correct.
Smush Parker that got into the valet. And then there was another guy, I think it was Todd Day, that went at it. This was in the Riley days.
Okay.
And he had to get rid of. But it's very few guys that they'll do that with, Very, and it's usually like a white side, a little bit of a desperation situation sometimes. It's
and I think also there is a pressure when you're with the Heat to be that way, to operate that way, because you see the rest of the organization does, and if you don't, your days are going to be numbered there with the organization, right? So I think there's a pressure that even if that's not the way you've been your entire career, when you get there, you're more likely to kind of change your ways a little bit just to fit in and be able to have a career there, instead of saying, you doing, acting up and then you're moved somewhere else in a few next season, right? So I think there is a pressure, and that plays an impact. And also, that's why I was surprised with Niko Jovic. Like when those comments came out, I didn't even mention them. I didn't tweet them because it just didn't sound like him. I mean, I've spoken to Niko numerous times. He got drafted with the Heat. Mature kid, professional, just wants good kid, just a good guy. It was hard for me to imagine him saying all that stuff. And yes, does he want to play? Obviously he wants to play. Does he feel out of position playing as a center in the G League? Yes, he does. He doesn't feel comfortable playing center. He feels like he's a power forward. But the other stuff that he was, quoted as saying to Serbian media, just didn't sound like him. And yesterday, you could tell he felt so bad. He was almost mortified, that he had to even talk about it. He just felt so bad and embarrassed. He was like, "I'm going to apologize to the coaches after we speak with you guys. I don't want them to think that I feel that way." So it just didn't sound like him at all when I saw those quotes initially.
Bucks are only favored by 3. So what am I doing tonight on the Hard Rock app?
I don't know. A lot of it depends on if Jimmy plays, right? That's kind of the.
Do I take the 3? You think?
I don't know. I would say no, only because the Heat are still missing Tyler Hero. So I feel like people forget that sometimes, right? And I know they've been good without Tyler Hero.
We forget about it because he doesn't stop them from ever getting anywhere. They do whatever they want without him. And I know they're not a better team,
Right.
but the reality is they haven't needed Tyler Hero in these playoff runs the last 2 years at all. And no moment were you saying in a playoff run the last 2 years, we really needed Tyler Hero that moment. Not really. You got to where you got to because, the guys on the court got it done. That's this kind of screwed up part about the Tyler Hero thing. We can't say they can't do anything because of Tyler Hero because they've done it.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about this season with this mix of players. They have won a lot without him, but they've beaten one winning team this entire time. And the Bucks are obviously probably the best team they've faced since he's gone out, I would say. The Hawks are the only winning team they faced. So
like the Bucks, Bam didn't play.
Right. Yeah, and it was in Milwaukee. So it's tough. I mean, if the Heat were 100%, and even if Jimmy plays, is he going to be 100%? The fact that he's questionable didn't practice yesterday, we've seen Jimmy when he's not 100%.
Is Jimmy ever 100%?
He's usually close to 100%, right? We know when Jimmy's not 100%. We could see it the way he plays, right? We see how less attacks, less free throws, more threes.
Oh, that's true.
So true. That's a big question mark, I think, entering tonight.
He fights through everything. He's so damn tough.
He does. He battles through injuries. So I would say I think it's gonna be a close game, as the Heat love to do. They love to play close games. But just because of the uncertainty of Jimmy's health, you're missing Haywood Highsmith, which I know is not a top 3, top 4 player on the team, but he's been pretty important since he entered that starting lineup. You're probably missing Haywood Highsmith. You're missing Tyler Hero. It's just tough. I would lean toward taking the Bucks. I don't solicit betting advice. It's just my gut. I'll lean toward the Bucks just because the Heat are a little bit banged up right now.
The greatest in town is Sean Stanley. And he I didn't apologize to anybody. I just said I was wrong, said Riley, whose team faced the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday at the Bradley Center. And I was wrong in the venue I used. Day was informed he had been waived when Riley confronted the reserve in the locker room about complaints over his substitution pattern. The approach stunned several Heat players. It was Todd Day. Yeah. I was right. It was Todd Day that got kicked out also. So, I remember all these things sometimes, and these, they'll take some chances, but you're on a short leash here, bro.
You're on a short leash if you mess up. Yeah.
Will not get away with buffoonery with the Miami Heat for very long. You're gonna be moved out. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you as always. All right, what do you got going on in the Herald, man? So folks can check you out, my friend.
Yeah, I just posted actually right before the interview a story on Caleb Martin. I spoke with him yesterday at practice just about his road back, getting back into rhythm, getting back into his usual form. He's probably still the 4th best player on this team, when healthy, when right. And we've seen a little bit of the flashes more and more lately the last few games, especially in Brooklyn. He played really well. But he spoke about it. He's like, I'm trying to have patience with myself because I want quick results, but this is kind of like my training camp, kind of like my preseason, because he didn't play in the preseason. He missed most of training camp. This is his first extended few weeks of game action in months since really last season. So you're seeing that rust, but slowly but surely he seems to be getting back to his usual self. So check that out. I thought it was a pretty good interview just with him kind of talking about where he is, where he's at health-wise, and kind of his situation, how he's approaching it.
Hey, by the way, has the Herald, do they have fake writers like Sports Illustrated?
I'm very real, so I don't think so.
Are you sure you're real?
This is not a hologram.
Are you sure it's not a hologram? Holograms move like that too, man. I don't know. Are you really covering the Miami Heat? Because, Sports Illustrated, I don't know what's going on there, bro. That's a funky.
That's a wild story. That's a wild story.
That's a sad story.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
That's a sad story that they and the fact that they acted like, oh, that's go. Oh, really? We're doing that? Like they acted like almost like, oh, that's going. Oh, you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Give me a break. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, dude.
Yeah. That was when I saw that. Yeah, it's pretty sad, wild, like whatever you want to call it. But yeah, just Just an
Pathetic.
unfortunate story for journalism.
I call it, and I would hold it against that. If I'm a reader, now I have to start questioning everything you're doing now, unfortunately. And that sucks because they do have people. We have two guys in town in Omar and Poop. They're real and doing the job. You know what I'm saying? But it looks bad on them now. Who's is it? Who's SI in basketball for you guys? Is it
it's I'm not sure if it still is, so I can't say, but I know last year it was Shandell Richardson.
Right, that's what I thought. It's Shandell. That's right.
Shandell's the best. He's a great guy. Sun Sentinel, been around for a long time. So
yeah. I don't know. I don't even know if they're still doing it, but
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It's bad for the real people that actually cover it, dude. I mean, wow, they're not going to trust your work. That is crazy stuff.
For sure.
All right, follow on Twitter at Anthony_Chang. Enjoy the basketball, my friend. We will catch up later on in the week.
Thanks, Big O. Have a good week.
Thank you, sir. There you go, BaptistHealth.net/ortho. And when we talk about Baptist Health, they are the official sports medicine provider of the Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, FIU, FAU, Orange Bowl, Miami-Dade County Public Schools, Miami Open Tennis, Miami Marathon, and Miami Half Marathons. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has locations from Monroe County to Palm Beach County. They've got a new one there at Hard Rock Stadium. If you live down in the Keys, Mariners Hospital at Tavernier Key, Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, the main hospital on 89th and Kendall Drive. If you're up north, in Boynton Beach, Bethesda East and West, two different locations. We've got Boca Raton Regional at 800 Meadows Road in Boca, locations all throughout South Florida. Use that QR code or go to baptisthealth.net/ortho.
The Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Heat Report with Anthony Chang is brought to you by Baptist Health of South Florida. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at baptisthealth.net.
All right. So for those of you that don't know the story, it's kind of wacky. It came out yesterday. The media landscape is changing. Sports Illustrated appears to have given the technology a try, which is AI. And according to Futurism, SI has published multiple articles written by fake AI-generated authors, with at least some of the articles themselves having been produced by AI. Per Futurism, the articles disappeared after the outlet reached out to the magazine's publisher, the Arena Group, which didn't respond to requests for comment. Archived versions of the articles in question, however, reveal overly generic and robotic-sounding writing, including a review of volleyballs written by Drew Ortiz. As Futurism notes, Ortiz has no apparent work history outside of his byline at Sports Illustrated, and his headshot can be found on a website that sells AI-generated headshots. It also appears that Sports Illustrated would periodically scrub the apparently AI-generated writer profiles in favor of new ones. There is a lot. A source involved with the operations told Futurism of the fake authors. I was like, what are they? This is ridiculous. The person does not exist. Another source confirmed to the outlet that in addition to the fake authors, the content itself was also a result of AI. The content is absolutely AI generated, no matter how much they say it's not. Sports Illustrated apparent use of AI is very similar to the kind of AI generated content that members of the News Guild of New York accused USA Today owned website Reviewer of publishing last month. Earlier this month, Gannett paused its AI sports writing program following an embarrassing launch, while GO Media has moved forward with publishing AI-generated content. You know what's going to happen? And this is the key here. You. Problem is that Americans don't end up caring. And so then you end up, even though they screw up, you end up then forgiving and then continuing. And so you're going to then start following AI-generated stories. which is a whole bunch of bull crap because all that can be programmed to do and say whatever you want. I get it that they already program some of the media. Okay? Because that's one thing I had to fight the entire time in my existence with people above me. And, when they would try anything like that, I would tell them, no. That's not going on here. I'm not doing that. You can go somewhere else. I'm not doing that shit. So I've crossed that bridge myself several times in my lifetime, and I've told them to go F themselves. But it's up to you guys. But that's disgusting that Sports Illustrated is doing that. Now, it unless I literally know the person, then I'm not going to trust it. And this happens with, a lot of the stuff that we talk about with crypto. And I point out the stuff that's being put out there, and it's completely wrong and inaccurate and all that, but they feed it to you guys and you buy it because you don't really pay attention to what's actually going on. Ooh, Godsmack is going to tour. Vibes tour. All right. Anything here? Orlando on the 13th, March 13th, St. Petersburg, March 15th, and Miami Beach, March 16th. So that means if they're going to Miami Beach, that means it's going to be Godsmack at the Fillmore. Miami Beach has to be the Fillmore. Wow. That's pretty cool to see Godsmack at the Fillmore. It's a small venue. I like it. Can't complain. Just like I can't complain. Atlas is up 23%. Love it. Avalanche up 2.5%. Bitcoin is up 3.5%. It is over 38,000. It's at 38,227, baby. So it looks like Bitcoin is starting to make a move. Are we going to 39 or 40? Could that be going on today? Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. We get 100% of the donations there. Cash App or Venmo. Thank you, Dolphin Don. I had a great Thanksgiving, nice and calm with the family. Jamesville, when are we getting an AI version of Big O? Yeah, you'll if they make one, that's fine. But when I'm done, I'm done. Whenever I retire, hopefully years from now, I don't think you want ever an AI of me, right? Because you're not really going to get me then. That's kind of what makes the show, that you actually get like a real opinion. Let's see. That's one of the reasons the Hollywood writers' strike happened. Well, that was one of the sticking points was AI. AI is going to be enormous. Alethea artificial intelligence token. We've already made money one go around when I told you about it last August, and it was at 88,000th of a penny, and it went to 9 pennies, which that means 10 times your money in your investment. Now it went back down to 1.6, 1.7 cents. And I told you to reinvest. It's up to like 2.3 or something cents. It's already up. But artificial intelligence, it's going to be enormous. Big O, make room for that Finn Super Bowl hat coming February 24th. Can't wait, my brother. Can't wait. I will buy several, my friend. Several. Okay. What's this Wade County? Why is this guy? Does this guy's new, right? Here. No spam in here, my brother. You will get blocked if you're posting 4,000 times. Okay? Make your point and move on. You got your warning. Okay? Make your point and move on. The chat board's for everybody. So if you start posting, you won't be posting very long. I don't really give a shit I don't even read what you're posting, but I see a lot of Wade County and I don't like that. Okay? Nobody gets to dominate the chat board like that. So we kick your ass out. So have a conversation. Don't be the centerpiece of it. Okay? What else do we have going on? I was looking up the whole Frank Reich situation, and he was fired, as you all know. And what I didn't realize is some of the other issues in the league, and I'm talking about like other head coaches getting fired and some of the shortest stints. So Frank Reich was fired after 11 games. Okay. Let's go through some of these. These are it's kind of trippy when you start seeing some of the stuff that's gone on, actually. Wait a minute. Where are we at here? Okay. Do I need to refresh this thing? Why is it all right. So Frank Reich gets fired after 11 games. Urban Meyer was fired after 13 games with the Jaguars. And remember, he had that whole incident with kicking the punter that was on the ground and all that kind of stuff. Lou Holtz, back in the day, was fired 13 games into it with the Jets. Bobby Petrino, motorcycle girlfriend and all, fired from the Falcons, 13 games. I think his punk ass walked out on the team, if I remember correctly. I think his cowardly ass walked out on the team in the middle of the season. Pete McCulley with San Francisco lasted 9 games back in the day. George Allen with the Rams lasted 2 preseason games. This was like 1978 or some shit like that, and it was already George had pretty much coached his entire career out. Hell of a coach. And he was trying to give it another go, and it didn't go so well in the first 2 preseason games. So Carol Rosenblum said, no, we're out of here. No, we're gonna let you go, George. 2 preseason games. They were playing like 6 in those days, so they still had 4 more games for the new coach. Belichick, 1 day with the Jets. That was another one. Infamous. Where he got the job and then he just like on a napkin wrote and left it there that I'm not taking this job. I'm out of here. 1 day. It's crazy. And we talk about Steve Wilkes and Cam Cameron, who did 1 season. All right. These people didn't even finish a season. One guy didn't even finish a preseason. How long do we have before the Terminators are coming for us? Now that should be in the next week or 2. I would say. The one reason the Hollywood writers. Oh yeah, okay, we got that. Mr. Kickfinger Meyer. Yep, Stanky Fingers is what I like to call him. Frank Reich would probably still be the head coach of the Colts if Andrew Luck never retired. Yeah, you could be right on that one. The interesting part of the Carolina one, I think the owner wanted, Bryce. I think this guy wanted CJ. And, it was one of those, hey, you're not getting more out of it. Well, I told you he wasn't the guy. You know, we should have gone with CJ McCollum. Oh, you're fired. You know, I could see something like that from Frank Reich. Like, hey, you're asking me to do something, but remember, I told you this kid, this, and this, and this, because obviously he's a quarterback's guy. He played quarterback. He knows the position really well. And word is he wasn't on board with Bryce. Word is that was the owner that wanted Bryce. Mike Shanahan did not want RG3. Okay? Daniel Snyder wanted RG3. And they drafted RG3. And then Mike Shanahan in the 4th round drafted Kirk Cousins. And he was right. The better quarter, even though I don't look at Kirk Cousins as this, franchise stud or anything, but he's a solid quarterback, obviously. Much better than RG3's career. Light years. It's not even close. After RG3's rookie year, he did nothing. And the injury obviously wiped him out. I know he was lobbying the Browns to try to come back, but it just weird, man. Weird. But yeah, Frank Reich could be there. You're right. All right, we are out of here. We thank Cameron Wolf. We thank Manny Navaro. We thank Anthony Chang. We thank, of course, the man that puts it together every single day and does a magnificent job, Sean Stanley. We thank all of you that tuned in. Hit the like button. Please don't forget, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, give us a ring. Call us on our business line at 786-754-4664. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that good stuff. Share the link with folks out there. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.